to tonight's episode of Dicecream Sandwich.
Bitches and
We play
blues!
Dungeons and Dragons. And
We better.
Yeah, we better. And this is going to be episode 13. Ooh, spooky.
Oh no!
Oh shit, I didn't realize
Good thing we're not
that.
playing Friday, you guys.
Yeah, and we're going to jump into tonight's episode. We did want to shout out our social media again because our Instagram has been absolutely fucking killing it. Evan.
Yeah, what's up?
What was that most recent one? Jack Nicholson with the nods?
Yeah, 15,000 views. Thank you, people, and all the 44 comments that I replied to some of them, but not all of them, because a lot of them were tags, but still cool.
Yeah. You can tag your friends on our social media.
Yeah.
We have
so
some very relatable memes.
On Instagram as @Dicecream Sandwich.
Oh, yeah.
And a YouTube channel now.
On YouTube @Dicecream Sandwich.
Yeah,
Don't
same
forget to
one.
check out Battle Angel Alita coming out this week. I just think it'll be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was like, I'm a voice actor, and I was like,
No.
really?
No, I
Like,
just
holy
think it'll be
fuck.
fun.
Yeah, oh my god. Local celebrity. Oh, but we do have a special announcement of season 2.
Oh yeah, season 2 Dragon Prince.
Yes.
Dragon Prince.
Dragon Prince
Dragon
season
Prince.
2.
Super
When is that?
exciting.
That is February 15th.
Nice.
So-
We should actually have a
That's not
viewing
like
party.
2 weeks.
Cancel all your Valentine's Day plans.
That is going to be the Valentine's plans, right, honey?
15th.
Yes.
Day after, Kevin.
That's okay. You need
Even
to spend
better.
the 14th preparing.
Exactly.
You, like I said on my Twitter, you got to bring your significant other some eggs. You got to do some dark magic and kill some magical critters to gain power.
Well, I think we killed a spider earlier, so
Then-
that would be the magic.
No, you put him outside!
He
Then
died.
You dress up as your
No!
favorite human, e.g. me.
I ruin everything again.
You can dress up as each other. It'll be fun. You can have human Kevin and human Amanda.
I was just like,
They cannot. Well, they can see you if you poke behind there.
Amanda is being a very lovely host and
Yes.
making Kaylee and I hot beverages.
Disparate kinds of hot beverages because she is that good.
Yeah, and I am a caffeine monster, apparently.
Yeah, that's
or
fair.
evidently.
Evidently. Well,
Yeah. I mean, I've only had like 3 cups of coffee a day, so that's not like...
It's not nearly enough.
Like, I'm British. I should be like having tea constantly like inserted into me.
Damn, I was gonna make that a contest.
you.
Be like, guess Emma's ethnicity. Like,
Hmm.
where
well,
are they from?
ethnicity.
nationality.
Right.
I was gonna say,
I was like,
y'all white.
That's
So
that's what I
difficult.
meant.
So close.
So difficult.
Yeah, no, I am very, very white. I'm like...
Like 5.5 white people in here.
You're like me. I always say I'm white. So white, I'm transparent.
Yeah.
Spook.
Spook.
Yeah.
So, before we get sidetracked again, we are going to go ahead and get started on tonight's episode with a bit of a recap. So, last week, the party had taken the advice of Ismark and Irina, deciding that it would be good to bring some kind of a gift to the Festival of the Blazing Sun that would be happening in 2 days current time frame. Having gone to the Burgomaster's mansion, had a meeting with Irina, meeting with Ismark, they determined that there was a prayer grounds to Palor outside of the city in the forest.
Hey, Lore.
To the north
Son
of
God.
Vallaki. Making their way back to the Blue Water Inn. There were some gifts delivered, a nice chest full of coinage to help out in the fight, as well as the decision made by Elith to hire the 2 hunters, Yevgeny and Zoldar, to then join you and guide your way
Hot
to
damn,
the
thank you.
breathtaking
Aeropress.
had to be here.
It's a giant dice tower.
Thanks, Amanda.
in
I
addition-
appreciate...
I'm just sitting here and standing here and waiting for it then.
If you wanted to do it.
You could also come back and check on it in like 5 minutes.
I'll forget it.
I'll remind you.
All right.
It's like
Anyway,
my
Jordy's
favorite.
telling stories.
In addition to the 2 hunters, you were assigned 2 guards that would be taking care of you as you were outside of the town, essentially keeping an eye on you, but they were meant to be brought back alive, else you would not be allowed safe passage back into Vallaki. You made your way out from the city and into the forest. The guides proved incredibly useful, circumventing a dire wolf encounter where they managed to spot a few tracks that no one else was really able to perceive and made their
Not
way
even me.
around. Not even you. made their way around that encounter and eventually dropping you off inside the prayer grounds, where they decided to secure the perimeter, as they were assigned to do, and began to skirt around the edges and making sure that nothing was going to come in and surprise you while you were inside the prayer grounds. Inside there, you first made your way into a smaller house. It looked like a series of lodgings for some of the priests or older acolytes, although long decrepit at this point, finding a nice little chest with the collection box, quite a good handful of copper pieces and a few silver. Eventually making your way around to the main temple with the church attached. You decided to make your way around and found a very large tree, which Leaf promptly laid hands on.
I can't believe that still happens.
Right after the guys were like, "Don't trust the trees," Leaf was like, "This tree is injured. I'm gonna make it better."
He just went up and
Which was so pure.
patted it once and then had his hand disappear in his mouth.
Yeah.
And then it snapped down on his mouth. So the battle with the tree ensued. Leaf for the first time actually dropping to 0 hit points and having to be revived. When the healer goes down, shit
Bad
goes
time.
sideways. And so from there, you ended up managing to defeat the tree, making your way inside the church up into the second floor of the tower, whereupon you realized that had you gone there initially, the floor was a little on the unstable side, and you very well could have destroyed the entire floor, having you all plummet 30 feet down.
Almost like it planned it that way.
And murder the entire party.
And also, we couldn't get through the door, and the feeble guards had to help us
It's true, the feeble guards did have to come upstairs and actually help you get through that door.
because 6 adventurers could not.
Yeah. But eventually making your way inside, you found a gorgeous, amazing white and gold trimmed and red trimmed shield hanging on one of the walls.
Keep it for
You
ourselves.
were able to retrieve the shield from the walls and found very interesting inscription written in Celestial on the back of the shield, and deciding this would probably be an apt tribute, something to bring back to the town.
Well, we're gonna see.
We'll see about it.
On from there were 3 other buildings inside the village. You managed to make your way over to one of them before we wrapped up, opening the door and finding 2 doors, one of which you opened, the doctor opened. The doctor opened.
That's another game.
It's possible.
That was my old campaign. The doctor opened.
Daddy.
And found very old, rotten fruit that just instinctively, even for your acute nose, very much brought a bit of a
Oh boy.
and sucked it back down.
Yep, didn't go on my cloak.
The other one, however, Allura ended up opening that door and finding a series of ashen zombies. Darkened skin, looked like almost gouts of fire that were running down their arms, and ended up engaging in combat with those. The combat went fairly one-sided, given that it was a fairly tight space and all of you are well accustomed to that. But you did notice that the zombies had an interesting trait, whereupon they essentially wouldn't die. There were ways to drop them, specifically radiant damage, you noticed, ensured their fate. But otherwise, it appeared to be only incredibly heavy blows, lopping off entire arms or heads that actually brought about the end of these creatures. So we pick up there inside the house that you're currently in. It appeared to have been some kind of a workshop, a forge with a series of anvils and a series of tools that you also have at your disposal. So, what would you all like to do?
Let's check out that room.
Yeah, I think we're gonna go into the non-smelling room.
I'm actually quite intrigued by the smelly room. I think that could be a deliberate ploy.
Go for it.
You want to go to the smelly room? Them smart people put smelly things for you to find.
Quite possibly.
All right. You go to smelly room, I will go to non-smelly room.
Yeah. I'm interested in where the zombies came from as well. I mean, even if we have some clue of, like, perhaps those were the original inhabitants of this area, and if so, what happened to them?
Very, very interesting.
I think we just killed what happened to them.
Well,
I think we do a thorough
But
sweep of this house and
I
then
agree.
then head back to the
Back to town.
To
and
town, yeah.
Another house.
there was a copper symbol, a very large one, outside the tower, and I wonder if that's something that we could potentially take back to the town for our offering.
You want to pluck the copper thing off of the thing?
I mean,
We could take the things from the church too.
yes.
There was symbols and such.
And perhaps then the town wouldn't need to be any the wiser about the shield that we found that could be very helpful in the fight against Strahd.
Yeah, I think the shield is
I think we keep it.
in
incredibly useful. I think if we find anything else, we should ask our Leaf to detect magic. He has a lovely ability where he can see magical things.
But most humans are greedy, and they're gonna want a very large item to suffice us running around and burning buildings and such.
Yes, well, there is. I mean, the copper symbol that's hanging from the tower is quite large. Perhaps it's not in great shape, but if we polish it up when we take it back.
It'd be hell to take back, though. It's pretty big.
I mean, there's 6 of us.
Yeah.
That's
Plus
true.
the 2 guards.
Yeah,
We
the
could make them
guards could
useful.
help.
Plus
Yeah.
Wingus and Dingus.
Yes, exactly.
I think we should also give back the chest,
I believe.
the church offering that we
I think
Yes,
we had
I
agreed upon
agreed.
that.
Yeah, we put it
because
back.
Some of us were quite insistent that the church get its due.
Yes.
That's
No, we
jump.
didn't put it back. We kept it, but we're going to return it to
Yes,
to
no,
the,
that's-
to the city and the church.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
okay.
correct.
Yeah.
Snidey
Let's-
Okay,
let's
so yeah,
crack open these doors.
I was excited to open
Yeah.
this door in the first game.
I'll go into the non-smelly room.
I'm gonna go into the
Smelly room.
Just
Should
this
I-
one's you, right?
Yeah.
Are you going by
That is
yourself?
nice.
Do
I
you
would
want
like-
Leaf to go with you?
Cover
That
your...
would be appreciated, Leaf.
Yeah. I'll be sure to draw your cloak across your face.
I promise not to touch it.
Oh,
doing
yeah.
a thing.
He's
Don't
doing
touch
it.
any trees.
Yeah,
Like,
I was actually gonna. I was actually semi-serious where we should have got like a little mushroom just for the fact that.
aw.
Oh boy.
Show me there's like a toad plushie.
I think so.
Hey! Mario!
Oh,
Oh, there we go.
we do.
Aw.
Tiny mushroom.
There
I
is.
made
Seems
it.
appropriate.
We'll put it over
For
here
you,
where he would
Leaf.
be. There we
In
go.
your honor, brave cow.
We do not know if you can see it because
I don't
no
think
doubt
they-
my
I don't
drinks
think
are
they
in
can.
front of it. But
You can
please
show us
know
if they
it
can.
is
There's
here
a
for
tiny
you.
little bit of red. He'll be able to see it exactly where it was.
That's for you, buddy.
It's a toadstool.
Very nice.
Very nice.
Okay.
All right, rooms now.
All right.
So,
I'll let you because you made the decision first to do your.
so going into the room where the zombies came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So opening the door into that room, you see that it appears to have been a stockpile room for a series of pieces of ignition. So all the wood, all the coal, everything like that,
Hot and
long
fresh
since
out the
burned,
kitchen.
now just turned into ash and cinder and assorted
He's a
charcoal.
madman.
So it appears that whatever this was, there may have been creatures that were essentially locked inside here when the room itself started to go up in a blaze, or the room went up in a blaze and then the door was closed and they could not find a way out in their panic, and as a result, ash zombies were born.
Okay. And there's
Right.
nothing. Can I like look around to see if there's anything left in the ash, like any
Yeah.
metal that was maybe
Make an investigation check.
didn't burn?
Oh.
Investigation.
Yep.
20.
20. Looking through the ash, you don't see anything per se. You see that there are a few tools that have been kind of molten and twisted, where it used to be maybe a pair of forceps that are now, essentially just two separated pieces of metal. But for the most part, it appears to just be the scorching and the assorted black marks all around the room.
Is anyone else curious about
I mean,
room or
No, I got nothing.
what did you find in there, eager one?
nothing?
After all that,
Yeah.
Nothing, huh?
is there like more of the room that she hasn't seen, or
It's the room.
that's just the room's nothing?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Jumping out of the southern one, you kind of brace yourself a little bit and take a step in and open the door, and it is a waft, even through covering the gag. It is very, very truly horrid odor. And eventually making your way in, and you just kind of slowly are starting to work your way through different things. Go ahead and make an investigation check.
Huzzah.
15.
15? Okay. Making your way through, you see that there are a few small scatterings of coins here and there. You find about 11 silver pieces and a single gold piece
Oh.
that are just in and amongst the different pieces. But as you're searching, I need you to just make a quick Constitution saving throw for me.
Your nostrils are offended. Oh, look at you.
God damn!
This dice likes me today. I'm. Sorry, 19.
19. Okay.
Learning about Emma.
Ta-da!
So making your way through, you kind of reach down and eventually are finding your way through a series of slimy, torrid things, and just disgusting pieces of rotten fruit. And you kind of reach out and you grab one of the coins and you pick it up, and it seems to be attached to that. What you think is originally pieces of rotten fruit skin is actually just pieces of rotten skin. And you just instinctively and you manage to not throw up in front of you at the realization of the drippings. Or some of them seem to be some kind of like liquid humanized version.
Yeah,
It's very, very disgusting.
How fresh does it look? Like, does it look...
Years, decades. To the point that it should almost be mummified, but because of the presence of the liquid in the air and the rain and the adjacents to the water, it appears to have just kind of turned into that really disgusting sludge.
Does it look in any way like that it was a natural cause for the death of whatever?
You would have no way of knowing.
It's
been
far too long.
Hey guys, Hope found sangria.
Oh.
Is the image as
Was that-
potent as the smell?
And there isn't any kind of like hidden kind of bricks in the wall or floorboards
Make
that could be
perception check.
moved? 7.
No, the only pieces really were the ones that you found just slowly going through, and you find those little bits of shine as you're holding up a torch, and even with your dark vision getting a little glints of light here and there. Those would be the only pieces that you find.
Cool.
I found some silver and one piece of gold. I think I might add this to the collection box. I think that would be a very...
Sounds like it might be the right thing to do.
All
To
right.
return the wealth to the people who were died here.
guess.
Yes, there was definitely a lot of death that's happened in this building. And I imagine it belonged to those
Those
liquid.
poor mulched souls.
Old,
That-
ashy, and
exactly.
trashy.
Oh.
I agree with Les and not with the doctor in that description.
I just called them a funny name. I don't know what you're disagreeing with.
You do have a lot of friends.
But yes, I
You
think
seem to
I
know
will.
everyone's name.
That I do.
I think I will add those to that collection box because I don't feel comfortable keeping that money
Okay.
due to their demise.
Fair enough.
Well, if we're gonna swindle him out of a nice shield, we're gonna need to give him all the money we need to find.
It's hardly swindling.
Do you have written down what we had found in the... Or do you want me to add that to...
Can you
My
please
record.
add that to
So
your...
how much was it?
It was
11
11 silver
silver and 1
pieces
gold.
and 1 gold piece. And previously there was 257 copper pieces and 11
another. So 22 silver
and 1 gold
and 1
added.
gold. Okay.
I feel pretty comfortable with this place.
Yeah.
Let's want to move on to the
Did
next
we actually
building.
do a first search of the main room?
We did
You
not.
did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was just the bellows, the anvil, all the tools, the aprons, things like that. Yeah,
Okay.
assorted metalworking tools, but that's about it.
Yeah, I believe there wasn't any. Was there another building? There's 3, right?
There's 2 more.
Five buildings.
Five.
Yeah,
And we've
I think-
done...
You've done 3.
Right.
Including the tower. So
Including the tower. Yeah.
All right.
Is anyone
Pretty satisfied.
insistent on doing any of the other buildings?
no,
or...
let's get on with the
Yeah.
day so we
Yeah.
don't.
I don't mind checking out
I-
those other buildings.
I agree with. I
Oh, yeah,
now
that's
agree
what I
with the doctor.
Well,
I think we should check the rest of the buildings, but quickly enough that we
Yeah.
I agree.
don't have to worry about getting dark before we get back to town.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I, if we're on the way out, as I assume we are, can I dip my head into that well?
Into the well.
Yes.
It's a bit deep for you. You
Oh,
need
is
to
it?
climb down about 8 to 10 feet to be able to dip your head into it.
All right.
There's also no the rope is frayed, so we wouldn't be able to get you out.
That was fine.
We
I
could
was
just hang out.
I thought maybe there'd be a nice cool water pool for me to dip my head in, but that's fine. We just
Looking down into it, it would be cold. It would not be refreshing.
Yeah.
This is stagnant water that really hasn't had a way to drain or be used in any way in dozens of years.
Alif, do you think these zombies will come back at all, or have we finally vanquished them? Are these bodies at peace, do you think?
It's a very good question, Hope. From all of my experience going up against the undead, if I had to say I rolled it, it would be a What kind of check would that be, Jordy?
Sorry, what was the question?
She's asking if I have any knowledge about whether or not the zombies will come back or not. Or sorry, they are asking that. Sorry.
If the zombies will come back or not.
Yeah.
So that would be a history check for you.
Okay. So that is going to be
At advantage because it's favorite enemy.
Oh, okay. Well, that's neat. Well, yeah. So 15 still.
15?
Yeah.
So based on what you know is once a zombie is dead, it stays dead. It appears to initially be that the creature falls dead and then arises as the undead. Once the undead form is slain, it is slain. It is not like a vampire where there are ways of reviving it.
Well, I believe that these souls are finally laid to rest. I mean, there's not really much we can do to create any peace here at this unholy spot, but
Could light it
we
on
can-
fire. Just saying.
yeah, we can.
Let's.
Or perhaps Leaf or Hope could leave a blessing at the door as we leave.
I think, yeah. I do have some holy water still from the father, so as we leave, I may try and perform some kind of blessing.
Sprinkle it a little.
So pulling out the holy water, using a little bit of that, and essentially just drawing some strong symbols of life, of passage, and things onto the door. You would be able to adequately, you feel, sanctify this place.
Yes, and can I add, using, Doctor, can I borrow one of your, pens? Quills?
That you may.
I don't know what we...
Quillining.
Quill ink.
Yep.
And
What code?
I draw, a very crude Palo symbol on
I
the
was going
door
to
as
suggest
well.
that, yes.
Okay. Good to know.
And, yeah, dab a little holy water.
I wonder if it's
Just
possible that
something.
Strahd was the one to raise these creatures into what they
Pull
were
one back.
here.
That's, I don't know. No one's spoken of Strahd and zombies. It's only ever been spawned, but...
Maybe there'll be hints in those other buildings.
No, we had zombies.
He had Spawn. I'm not sure.
We
had
had
zombies.
zombies come and
Zombies,
attack
okay.
Was there?
the
Yeah, there was
Irina
zombies.
and-
yeah,
Yeah.
Ishmark and Irina's
The
house.
little dipshit's
Yes.
house.
The first
that's what I
night
thought.
we
That's
were
why I was
here in Barovia.
So, I mean, it's possible. It could be. I would say if we follow that line of reasoning, if there's these humans were something that Strahd destroyed or bent his will against, then it stands to reason that there's something here that either had power against him or that they were rebelling against him in some way.
That's very intriguing. Yeah.
Makes me want to give that shield up even less. But let's see what's in the other buildings, and perhaps we can put more pieces of the puzzle
Yeah.
together.
I think that the
Moving on.
Yeah.
.org.
the more we have, we would be moving on to the next
Yeah.
place as we're talking.
Yeah.
So there are two remaining places. There's one that's due south of where you currently are, down a road that appears to dead end at whatever location this is. And then the other one was back near where the entrance you came in, continuing further north in comparison to going northeast to where the tower was.
Let's hit that southern
So-
one first, maybe.
Yeah, which one is the opposite of our direction?
Yeah, I
home?
think we would probably just
They're-
skew through them.
So one is due south of you on a one-way road that you would have to return back up to then go back to where you entered into the area. Where you entered in is essentially a Y fork in the road.
Okay.
You took one path, you would need to take the other to go to the fifth road.
Okay, so let's go down first, and then
Yeah,
we'll
we'll
go to the other
southern
one.
one. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so heading down to the southern one. That was me. Heading down to the southern one, you can lift that map off. You end up coming in on the one-way road into that one there.
Is this the right direction of the map on the table?
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. That road that's coming down
the road.
towards Kevin, that one is the road that would come in, and it just seems to dead end.
We're all huddled together, we're
Back to back to
shields
back.
now.
Yeah.
I think moving forward, we should be looking out for certain things. For example, no windows on a building, and listening at doors as well.
Perhaps you're right.
Or knocking on doors.
Definitely
to
checking for
see.
traps, but also seeing what could be behind closed doors.
Yeah, if there are spawn or zombies, I think we need to take precautions so that we're not surprised, as we have been too many times.
Do we notice if any of the windows are boarded up?
This building specifically doesn't appear to have any windows that you can see walking in from the north. You do see that there's a wide chimney, rotted piles of firewood lie jumbled outside the
That's
walls
probably
of the
fine.
sagging building. It was once potentially a homestead of some kind, but there's very few clues that you can see from the outside.
Is the roof intact?
The roof is sagging, but is apparently intact.
Is this a stone building or a wood building?
This is a stone building. They all are.
If there's anything I've learned from Red Dead Redemption, it's that homesteads are a good source of cash.
You can find wedding rings in some of the drawers.
I say we do the tactic of knocking at a door, waiting.
Oh,
If we don't hear anything, opening and like backing up, just in case there is.
I'm happy to keep an arrow notched and to fire at any sign of aggression from the inside.
Les is gonna run up to the door and just start smacking it really hard.
Well, we
What's
should
the
check for
roof made
traps
out
first.
It's all stone.
of? All stuff.
For once, I
The
agree with
roof
Les's
is
tactics.
a thatched roof that has kind of sagged a little bit. You can see there are parts of it where it's maybe caved in a bit, but overall is still relatively intact.
And how high up is the roof?
Roof is about 15, 16 feet.
Okay.
Yeah. It's just a one-story building.
Is there any? Does it look as though there could be any alternative entrances or exits to the building? Is it worth doing
We need to go around.
Is it worth doing an inspection around the
I don't
building?
think so.
Before all
think
that,
Perhaps we should check the door.
hello,
Perhaps.
He's just
vampires!
knocking.
Yeah.
Make a perception check.
If you're in there, you're gonna die.
Yes,
I've got
hello,
arrow
it's
notched
me,
to this
vampire.
point as well.
It's a what, sorry?
Perception.
Why can't I find it?
+2.
Yeah.
It's in alphabetical
18.
order.
18? Okay. Listening at the door. Doesn't appear to be any sound on the outside.
Fantastic.
Sounds all clear on the vampire front.
Let's go, Les.
Wait. Please check for a trap before opening the door.
Alright, I'll check for traps.
Make an investigation
I guess
check.
that's what you do. I think it's fine, yeah. 11.
11? Okay. Door does not appear to be trapped. It's fairly loose, like on its hinges, similar to the other doors. It's almost just like something that you could just push on, and the door itself would fall in entirely.
Sounds
Can I
That's-
kick it really hard to make it look very impressive?
You can certainly try.
I try.
Go ahead, make it a strength check. Boot the door.
Oh,
Oh no.
Wasn't a 1.
oh, I thought it was.
Yeah, let's
That's
go
why
with
I
this
was
angle,
like,
yeah.
10.
10. Okay. So going up and you go to boot the door, and your boot connects, and you're expecting a little bit of resistance. There is none. The door just shatters, and your boot goes right through it. And then you kind of like step in as the door and shatters into 100 pieces on the ground with your boot halfway through, kind of encased in wood on the other side.
Guys, I'm really strong right now. That door did not stand a chance.
Yeah.
Lead the way, Les. Let's go.
That door was very worthy. I
As
don't
you
know, it
do
took your
that,
strength.
10 poison damage.
Mimic eats your foot.
The door's a
You
mimic.
stick your boot into the mimic.
Oh boy.
The house is a mimic.
Just I walk into the building with the door wrapped around my leg, going.
Death House 2. Return of the Mimic.
One of my favorite ones of it just reminded me of like, why do you adventurers always wear your gear inside taverns? And we responded, mimics. The bartender laughed, we laughed, the table laughed. It was great.
Oh man.
Yeah.
I love
Good
it.
times.
So making your way inside, this does appear to be some kind of a homestead. There's a rotten feather bed, some straw bales that are laid down. Apparently, other additional places to sleep. You do have an additional door in front of you. This door appears to be a little bit in better shape. In comparison to everything else that you've seen so far, everything has been fairly weathered. This door is a metal door on hinges, and it has very minimal signs of wear, like someone had actually been upkeeping it.
Interesting. Is there anything else that's notable about the door? Any markings or symbols?
Make an investigation check.
did Les manage to just completely erase that door does not exist.
Yeah, it's
that we
just
can.
an empty.
So we have some sunlight coming into this room.
Yeah, there's some. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
12.
12? Okay. Looking at the door, there doesn't appear to be any markings of any kind. No scratch marks, no
Don't dead open
handprints,
inside.
no dust marks. Whatever this is, it appears to be in very good shape.
This makes me
Let's
nervous
open
and
it.
intrigued at
Yeah.
the same time.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
fact that it's this well-kept
Yes.
door is inside a very unkept
We're
door.
not
It's
currently
almost-
inside
very-
on the
Oh,
map.
I know. I'm just
Abandoned
checking to see where you are.
Community. So
this
suspicious
is-
and
this is the
intriguing at the
door?
same time.
We're all inside,
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
all inside that main
Okay.
area, but you
Okay.
haven't stepped through or touched the other door yet.
Does it look as though there's any kind of any bricks or floorboards again that could trigger the door to open in nearby, or has any kind
Make a perception check.
Oh no.
5?
That's fine.
It doesn't have a handle or anything, right? It's just a solid metal door.
Solid metal door.
Oh no,
I think
handle.
we should be wary of
So it's a push
touching this door.
Yes.
Do you want to check for traps?
Perhaps Leaf would want to detect magic on the door.
He is only able to do that once per day, and I think we should save that
Oh, yes.
to also
That's fair.
look at the shield potentially
Can I check for traps on the door?
Sure.
without touching it.
Well, yes.
Without touching it or with touching it?
Without touching it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Make a check.
11.
11. Doesn't appear to be trapped. It appears to be almost perfectly sealed on the sides.
Sealed with what?
Like sealed up against the stone.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Actually, here's a thought. If we wanted Leaf to look at the shield, he can do detect magic in this area.
That's true. And
That's
do the
true.
same.
2 birds, 1 stone.
That's
And
true.
detect magic also lasts for 10 minutes. So we can walk around with it active.
Okay.
Around him.
We could pop it, yeah.
I vote for that.
We might as well because
If you are okay with that,
Leaf, would you
Leaf.
look now?
Yeah,
We
it's
have
fine.
more than one thing to that we're curious about. Would you mind seeing if any of these things are potentially magical?
Oh, if you want me to do that, I can do it. Alright.
Jesse, this is now canon.
Wow.
Alright. That shield is magical.
Yeah.
That door is magical.
Oh.
So the door appears to be magical.
Who has the shield? We don't
You
have
do.
a card
do.
for it, do we, though?
Not yet.
You do not. You get
But
the
I
card,
have
you
the-
get the card once you identify the shield.
But we know it's the shield of the Dawnfather.
We do, and
Oh,
I have the
Dawnfather.
inscription written down
Yeah,
as
me
well
too.
in Celestial.
I had it kind of written down.
I
So
had
maybe
it
can
verbatim.
you update?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah, we'll
'cause
do the-
I put it in what I had, but I did not have it verbatim.
I don't
Okay.
know. If there's a magical door here, that might be like the good shit in this village.
Agreed.
Or
Perhaps.
keeping
Yeah.
something very, very
I think that
bad
this
That
is-
might be the good kush, bro.
I don't know what kush is.
Yeah.
I think this
We
is a
have kelp where I'm
50-50 on
Yes.
Can
you see
There's a bunch
anything
of us and we
else,
couldn't murder it.
Leaf, about this?
Whether it could be dangerous or not.
Whether it seems to be positive magical
So,
energy.
The way that Detect Magic works is that it would give the school of magic as to what the nature of it is. So in our case, this is what I'm pulling up here.
So that's how furbolgs detect magic. I've never seen one do one in front of me before. It's very
So-
sensual.
You have.
Yeah,
Leaf
yeah.
has done it.
You've absolutely been there.
Not like that. Not like that.
The shield is one of abjuration.
Okay.
It spells a protection of blocking. And then the door is a school of evocation. Manipulating energy, creating something from nothing.
Okay.
Could you repeat the door one, please?
The door is
Evocation.
evocation.
evocation and abjuration.
Abjuration, yes.
So a fire range should
Is there?
maybe-
Is that an ABJD?
ABJU.
Oh. Okay, I wanted there to be a D in there. So
Oh, your
badly.
notes
Oh
are
no.
fucked up now.
Oh,
In pen.
Kevin!
God.
Don't make it worse.
To rip the whole thing out.
Oh, that gives me anxiety. Okay.
Guys, let's not bully Amanda.
Okay.
Put some
I know, that's
D
why
up
I'm
in it.
saying.
Not right now.
The
Bad
thing I love
Kevin.
is,
We'll have opportunities later.
Oh, I see that you're filling your character sheet out in pen. I too like to live dangerously.
Yeah. Is there anything else that I can see in this room?
All of the checks for the room.
So-
have been-
Well, like for like debris, like a piece of
There
rock,
is-
a
we did it.
stone.
No.
It's just
all-
cleaned out.
There is a rotten feathered mattress. There is some piles of straw that are just essentially rotten down and to the point of just being very, very dry sticks.
So not at risk of like beating a dead horse here, but can we see any? So I know the door is completely blank with no handle. Is there any sign of a way that it could be unlocked or opened, or any
No.
kind of like opening? Okay.
Absolutely nothing.
With the inscription on the shield being in Celestial, I wonder if it's also Celestial to open this door, if it's
maybe.
evocation?
Evocation.
Evocation.
Evocation. I don't know if it's my
Evocation.
accent or if it's just my
It's
mild
also-
speech
it's-
impediment.
it's an evocative
You know what? It's
door.
a word that no one
I'm
uses.
also gonna.
That's all it is.
Hope's not from here. It's fine. None of us are. Abjuration.
I'm gonna go. Can I go outside and do like a once around just
Sure.
to see what's around?
I mean,
Can-
that's true.
Perception
Perhaps
check
there's
outside.
a.
Can
entrance from the back.
anyone speak Celestial? I know that someone could
I can read it.
read it, but not.
I don't know if there
I
was
cannot.
I don't think anybody took Celestial as a language for their character.
No.
I think you did it originally. but
Yeah.
Yeah, not on this one.
Fuck. 14.
14. Looking around outside, you see that there are a couple of loose bricks, a couple of loose stone pieces that are able to give a little bit, but nothing where you're able to actually pull out of the wall. But that's about it.
What do you guys think about?
Essentially,
Sorry,
just
I'll-
looks like regular wear from the outside. It's specifically the door on the inside that looks very strange,
I'm wondering.
very out of place, I should say.
Yes. Nothing on
Because
the nothing on the
That's the funny
outside.
thing is the door itself looks perfect. There's nothing wrong with the door at all, but it's just so out of place to the rest of what you've seen in the
So
I have an idea.
I also
the
have
word
an
that
idea,
I
but
struggled to pronounce,
Yes.
and do not want to say
Evocation?
again.
Evocation.
Think of Evo cars
Yeah,
and
think
then
of Evo.
going on a vacation.
Okay, I can't tell if this is just the Canadian pronunciation.
I want to
might
go
be-
on an
It
evocation.
might be evocation, if we were to say it kind of.
Evocation
Yeah.
versus evocation.
Because I would say evocative.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
evocation.
it's evocative, but yeah, it's
Okay.
it's the
Evocation.
crass jingoism.
Tomato,
It's like
tomato.
if you're invoking something.
Okay,
Yes.
okay.
Invoking, you're evoking as well.
Yes, with it
Because
being,
you evoke, you
Yeah.
don't evoke.
Right.
You evoke.
if this is the kind of magic is that of evoking,
Yes.
an evocation.
Yes.
Thank you.
You did it.
Well done.
What if we just simply try and, just say open in as many languages as we can? Or perhaps I could use my thaumaturgy to see if that.
Pretty
I
sure the
think
doctor
kind of
has a mage
being-
hand as
I was
well.
just gonna use a mage hand
yeah,
to try and
I
push
think
it
that's
over.
another good idea.
But once
the
we've
other
all
thing
left
is
the room.
throwing some. I was gonna say we could all
Yeah.
back the fuck up, and ready action.
Yes.
And then either mage hand or throw something at it.
Or, Doctor, do you have any spells that are the same school of magic? Evocation?
I mean, I do, but I don't think they'll do much here.
No, but I'm wondering if perhaps if the door recognizes the same kind of magic, then it could trigger something.
I mean, if you want me to waste a scorching ray
yeah,
on
I
the
don't
door.
know.
No,
We
I-
should. Yeah.
Is
Scorching ray is
Eldritch
evocation.
Blast evocation?
Is Eldritch evocation?
Yeah,
I think
it is.
Oh. I mean, I could give it a try.
It's because one of the
but-
ones that you automatically get.
Pretty
Start.
sure,
Mage hand is a cantrip, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I can just pop it whenever.
Okay, I think that's probably the
Try that
first
first
try.
and then see
Yeah,
where we go
I
after
think
that.
we should have
Does it say on the card?
Should I
like
move everyone
2
back?
It
people
doesn't say on the card.
in with
It's an
actions
evocation.
readied.
Eldritch Blast evocation.
Okay. So I could try and pop it with an Eldritch
So I
Blast.
can do
Doctors.
ranged and then
I'm just
I've
afraid
got the
that
shield so I can be.
if this thing
Up front.
pops, and because evocation magic means it will create a thing. Usually,
If we hit it, something might
a
come
pew
from
pew
it.
it'll,
thing.
that's why I think mage hand first.
Well, that's my plan. Is I want everyone outside and to put the mage hand in there.
Well, yeah, we could always. Everyone could be outside. The doctor could be like standing in the doorway and like.
I can just send it to.
We
do
need a
thing.
third cam
filling in. Yeah.
for the map.
Map cam.
Eventually.
That's the next
Eventually.
investment.
You don't
can
need it
you-
right now.
Use your imagination.
We just have a drone with the camera on it right above the table.
Well,
So does-
because I've already created the second map or the second scene where it gets replaced with our characters with a third camera.
Right.
Oh.
Does anybody mind if I do the thing? Like, let's just all pop outside?
Yeah, pop outside.
Okay.
Everybody
Do your
step
thing.
outside. You
Pop your
come
hand.
in the doorway. You're popping mage hand.
Yeah, just to try and push it open.
Sure. So you conjure mage hand. You send the mage hand over, and the mage hand touches against the door, and it just pushes with the 5 pounds of force that it can apply, and it just vanishes. The spell appears to have been dispelled in some way.
Well. Let's go open it up.
No,
Okay.
like your mage hand.
Oh, my mage hand does. Okay.
Sorry, your mage hand appears to have been dispelled.
Okay.
Not
Yeah. Leaf still having the sight sees
He
that
can
the
still see
door
what's
still
going on.
has.
Okay.
Do you want to try your Eldritch
has
Blast?
magical aura.
I could try popping an Eldritch Blast at it.
Just see what happens.
Yeah.
I mean, we can also try touching it.
No.
We
no.
could try touching it with everyone with a prepared action and
Yeah,
like our heaviest hitter at the door.
I think
We'll
that
let
might
him
be.
let him
That's-
shoot it
that's
first
next
and then
step.
see.
Next try.
Sure.
And then let's kill you all.
Sure, I'll just try popping an Eldritch Blast at it.
Okay. So again, everybody waiting outside, you come around the corner, conjuring the Eldritch Blast, and you just stick your hand inside and fire it. Immediately pull your hand back. The Eldritch Blast, you just hear a boom impact against something, the same sound that you're used to, and then taking a look inside, the door appears to be undamaged.
It's
I
vibranium.
think before we touch the door, I think we should try something like the simple asking it to open.
Yes, perhaps that can be the
All right.
very last thing that we do is actually touch it.
Who
But I
knows
mean,
Celestial?
if the door
None
is
of us.
about manipulating energy, then it stands to reason that we couldn't get it open with force. It would have to be some way,
Yes.
some trick or password or some form of action that would get it open.
Well, why don't
What-
we just go in and we'll do what Allura says. We'll prep some actions, and
Here, let me.
someone will touch it all gentle-like.
I've got one. No, I won't do it.
Fog? Is it fog?
You've already done it. Oh no, you didn't.
You
do
never
it.
know, guys.
That's
It's
okay.
a really cool spell underwater.
You know
Just
what? It's
Trying
gonna,
to tell
one of
you.
these days.
Do
You ever
I-
seen a fog cloud come out
What
of
do
the water?
do I
It's
know
amazing.
anything with my like
The best
background
spell
about
in the
evocation
whole
magic,
world.
like specifics about?
You are untrained in the magical arts, having seen the usage of magical defenses, that triggers a little bit of a memory that this may be some kind of a defense mechanism on the door.
Actually, before we do that, I just remembered I'm still very hurt from my last battle. I'm at 7 HP. I'm gonna need some potion action here.
I can heal you with
Do we-
cure wounds,
Well, I mean,
or leaf can.
we also do have the ability to just, take
Take
a break
a short
for
rest.
an
Yeah,
hour
take a rest for a
if we
little
wanted
bit.
to. It's only about noon. We've got some time.
I mean,
until
I
we
guess
have to
that's
go.
true.
You know what?
We
I
can
wouldn't
pon-
mind taking a short
Yeah.
rest.
We can
let's do
ponder a
that.
bit about this door.
While we're taking a short rest, can I examine the door? Can I take a good look at the door with my
Sure, you could do that
with
before
your
the
monocle.
my little warlock eye?
Yeah, the whole point of the short rest is you're not using
Okay.
anything
Do you
like
need
that,
it
so-
though? Do you need?
I mean, I could use an extra spell slot.
No. Do you? Are you low? Are you feeling hurt at all? And you feel like you might?
Oh, no, I
want
don't
to-
need-
Well,
I don't
no,
need hit
but
points.
he
I'm
only
okay.
gets 2 spell slots, and he's used one of them. Eldritch Blast, you can use as many times as you want, but big spells like Scorching Ray and things,
Yeah.
he gets those back on a short rest.
Yeah, I don't get any
Oh,
spells
okay.
back on a short
You-
rest. No.
You just get hit points back on a short rest.
So I
Oh,
only
do I
got-
get full hit points or do I have
no,
to roll?
You can roll your hit dice to get those.
Oh,
I'm trying to
yeah.
remember if you get lay on hands on a short rest, and I think it's a long
I think I get my fighter feats back.
I think it's a long rest
Fighter,
as
yeah,
well.
Fighter's the same thing as Warlock, you get it all on short rest.
Yeah, lay on hands is long rest. That's what
Is
my
long
note
rest?
says. But I didn't use much of it deliberately.
Yeah, no, I think you only use 5 points or something
Yeah.
like that.
And hit dice, I will restore that on a long rest. Is that correct?
You can hit dice on a short rest, right?
Sorry, say that again.
Use one of my hit die now to build up my hit points again, and then will I get that hit dice back just upon a long rest? I'm trying to remember the
you
rules.
get half your.
So hit
half.
dice, you can use as many as you want, one at a time, as you short rest. You roll the die, you add your Constitution modifier, that's how many hit points you get back. On a long rest, you get back half of your expended hit dice, rounded up.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna use a hit die. Which die am I
D10,
feeling?
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I can take a long rest yet.
Is that 10?
If it's a 0, it's
That's
a
a
10.
10.
Yeah, so plus 2, so 12.
Save
Damn,
that for
that was a
later,
good
actually.
rest.
I may need that when we get back to town.
Alrighty.
Alright. Can I... Oh, well, I'll wait until we finished resting and stuff. But I am intrigued whether I could just be, like, kind of whispering at the door, just kind of, like, open. But just in common, infernal, draconic, dwarfish.
Infernal might be an issue.
You whisper in those languages to the door.
What languages were?
Common, infernal, dwarvish, and
Draconic.
draconic.
Okay.
And
I would
receive
add.
no response.
I would add Elvish to that as well.
Yes, that's what I would actually say. Also, I would say, open in the name of Paylor.
Oh.
Ooh.
No response.
Yeah. So we don't have anyone who speaks Celestial, because maybe that could actually be useful.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that.
All those trickies.
Are we touching it yet?
Tricky.
Kid, looking it over,
Trickiness.
like with
Trickiness.
the eye in mind
Tricky.
that, or with the concept in mind that this is a defensive magic. Would I have any clue as somebody who's schooled with magic?
Make an Arcana check.
Okay. That's a 16.
16? Okay. The door is essentially looking around. You would see that there appear to be assorted arcane glyphs that you assign and actually recognize as something that you don't know, but something that you've heard a little bit about. And you bring it up with Leaf as well, and Leaf.
Sorry, you said there's glyphs on there? There's arcane glyphs?
Correct.
I thought there was no markings. We specifically asked about that.
Yep. You, as people who don't read arcane markings, you see it as decoration on the door.
Oh.
They see it as arcane runes.
But no
around the
markings would
edges.
be no
Yep.
engravings at all.
Yeah, there's no engravings. It's
You said decoration. That's different. That's sorry. This is like that's different. If there's no markings, there's no decoration, no nothing.
okay. No markings, as in markings, claw markings, handprint markings, markings of people interacting with the door. The
Okay.
door is a clean slate door with an edge around it. That along the edge of not of the door, but of the stonework around, they find the markings. It's not on the door. It's on the stonework surrounding the door.
Okay.
So what does Leaf do?
Leaf looks at this and recognizes that this is a glyph of warding. Essentially a spell that when a certain action, condition is met, the trigger then happens.
I see.
You don't know exactly what the nature of the trigger would be, but evocation between the both of you, you know, is typically not good things.
Yeah. So what it seems to be is that if we open that door, something might poof out at us. Probably not a thingy, but probably like an effect, like a fire, like a zippy zap.
Well, it's probably best that we don't open it then.
Or
there might be something great behind it.
that's
Yeah,
also what I
I think
think.
it's likely protecting something.
How are you going to
important.
open it without you getting
We
zapped?
could get a
though?
big stick.
I'm actually wondering if you saying the glyphs on it, I wonder if it will. You say it will react if it's triggered, but I wonder if we will perhaps find more runes if we perhaps use fire next to it. If we had like a flame.
Here's a question. Maybe we try and touch the shield to it.
That's true.
I
I can
mean,
do that.
go
Maybe
for it.
we try opening it with the shield there.
Yes.
I'm gonna stand back from the door.
I'm
Okay.
also going to stand back from the door.
I will go forward with the shield.
Leaf is just behind you with an arrow notch ready to go.
Okay.
This one's you, right, Hope?
That's
Yes.
me.
Oh no, I'm this thing.
That one.
At
I'm
the
the one
moment.
with the
Oh, yeah.
fins.
I
Trident.
don't.
Okay, I'm just right there with you.
Okay.
Like
And
arrow over-
is
over your
everybody ready?
Ready as I'm gonna be.
Do we want anyone else inside or just?
I think we're fine. Well, we're all there, aren't we?
Can I ready a hand crossbolt for any creature or entity that looks mean.
Sure. If you see an entity that
Looks
seems
nice.
mean,
Yes.
Okay, so
Does anybody else want to ready with it?
No, I'm okay.
I think it's just gonna blast right back at you.
I'm going to gingerly touch the shield to the door,
okay.
and
Touching just the shield, or touching your hand and the shield?
I think hand and shield
Hand and shield. Okay. Alrighty. So
to see what
holding
happens.
the shield up in front of you, covering yourself as best you can. Everyone else is either in the room or outside. So Alith, you're behind Hope.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Alright, so you go up, holding the shield in front of you, just kind of like peeking around, and you instinctively, as best you can, touch both pieces to the door at the same time.
I'd rather touch the shield first and then hand.
Sure. So you'll to the shield first. Would you wait and see if there's any response, or then put your hand
Yeah.
after? Wait. Okay. So you would put the shield against the door. Appears to be no interaction.
And now I place my hand.
Okay. And placing your hand on the door. And are you pushing hard or just placing it?
Just placing.
Just placing. Okay. I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
God damn it.
It was gonna happen, guys.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Nice.
21.
21. Okay. So you take half damage.
Oh, fuck.
What kind of damage?
It was gonna happen.
And then we spend the rest of the game figuring out this shiny door.
Yes.
Yeah.
No.
That's. I mean, we can't ignore the door.
I'm gonna leave you guys. I'm gonna find Evgeny and Zordon.
So you take 28 points of lightning damage, half to 14.
Oh.
Lightning?
Lightning. So half to 14.
Okay.
So you take 14 points of lightning damage. As you touch your hand to the door and instinctively just it just shocks you straight through your hand. You also begin to stagger backwards, but you do not fall unconscious.
Good.
And the door now, Leaf still having, no longer having eyes because you rested. But the door itself does appear to shrink slightly, creating a slight gap around the edge.
Oh, you gotta pay to play.
Oh.
So you kind of instinctively stagger yourself back
Masochist
as you can
opening.
see that, and you can see that the door has just ever so slightly shrunk to the point that it looks like it could actually move in.
Oh.
Okay.
So it's probably fine. Let's open
We
it.
need something not. We need something not made of metal in order to push it. Hope, are you all right? And Elise will lay a hand on their shoulder.
What happened?
Hope got shocked.
Yeah.
Are you alright in there?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
just hear that, from inside.
Would you say it was a shocking experience?
I would say it was a shocking experience.
Fantastic. We've got a bit.
But thankfully I did rest beforehand, and I'm still fine. I'm still approximately kind of I feel 50%-ish.
Is the door still the same?
The door's changed. Come have a look.
I'm gonna
All
pop in. I'm gonna pop my mage hand
Okay.
and send it to push the door.
Okay, so Mage Hand pushing against the door. It does not get dispelled this time, but there does not appear to be enough force from the Mage Hand to open the door.
I'm
Yeah, it's
gonna
a
go up to the
5-pound.
door with my trident.
Yeah.
The very end of it, and just try to go and try to force it open.
Okay, make a strength check with disadvantage because you're trying to focus your strength on the points of the trident.
You might turn it around and do it with the back end.
I believe in you, Les.
Oh, make check.
Disadvantage.
Damn it.
You gotta try again, unless you want to use your full body weight on it.
Oh, wow.
What did you do?
15.
15? Okay. With the door now disengaged, just kind of finding that weird point of the trident skittering off slightly, and eventually finding one where it gets purchase on one of the fine tips. You do kind of just as the door begins to just, and eventually revealing a chamber within.
Dope. Let's look.
Can we
Alright.
see anything?
I'll
any
cast
light?
my Dancing Lights cantrip and send
Yeah.
them in.
Can we see in before we move?
Yes.
Yeah, I'm just gonna see what's in front of you before walking in.
Sure. So inside the room, you see that there are two chairs seated facing each other, with a 5-foot gap in between them.
Okay.
Along the floor is a very large circular drawing, just circle, painted in dark red, with a series of not runes, but definitely symbols of some kind around the exterior of the circle.
I recognize any of those?
history check.
Okay.
Actually, religion.
Okay.
You guys, it appears to have been some type of ritual inside this room.
That's an 18.
18. You don't, strangely.
Okay.
Looking at it, you get an idea. It's definitely demonic in nature.
Yeah.
But that's about the extent of it. You don't recognize specifically any of the symbols relating to any deities. It's just the nature of this. You personally recognize as something where a bargain is being struck.
Yeah.
Deal with the devil.
You may have struck a deal with a demonic entity in exchange for power and elongated life.
Yeah.
John.
John.
Goddamn
You
John.
the campaign.
Yeah,
He's
right?
too nice.
John. Screw Strahd.
He's eating breakfast
John.
forever.
Eating a donut. So gross.
Cronut.
Yes.
Oh,
Because
those are
he's
good.
that kind of a guy.
Anything else in the room?
Well, we haven't.
Oh, we haven't gone in yet.
So you haven't gone into the room. That's just what you see. So you see the two chairs facing each other that, again, very similar to the door, are in very pristine condition.
Yeah.
The markings on the floor are, again, very clean, cut, clear, and then all the symbols are, again, very carefully drawn.
Yeah.
Looking in the rest of the room, there is nothing.
Okay.
No adornment. Based on what you saw outside, this looks like, at first glance, it would have been some kind of a dwelling. Whatever this room is appears to have been cleaned, removed, and remade into something entirely different.
So perhaps this room was put here after this area was abandoned.
I'm going to say, guys, I don't know that we're going to learn too much about this completely blank room right now.
I think knowing that this is here is good information, but I think that we need to learn a little bit more about the history of this.
I agree.
Of the area before we go into a bargaining match with something that we don't know.
I don't think we should step inside the circle.
I
Perhaps we should step inside the room.
I think we should be very careful before we walk into this room,
I've been around
especially.
this town long enough to know if you see any demonic rituals, it's
They're
best not to
pretty
go
cool.
near them
Or
unless you
that.
know what you're getting yourself into. So I'm not going into that
I mean,
room.
the last we saw of some kind of demonic rituals was in the death house basement, wasn't it?
Yes.
Maybe let's just keep note that this is here for later on,
Yeah.
and let's check out that other house.
Does this make anyone else kind of? Do you think this could relate to the prophecies, or do you think this is perhaps where Strahd got his powers?
I think this might be a Strahd thing. I don't think it's prophecy related.
This I don't think it is, because this prayer grounds hasn't been here for that long. They said it's been abandoned for a long time, but it hasn't been here for that long. Strahd has been Strahd for 900 years, and I think that this place was abandoned after, like.
Perhaps
Do you
it would
think
have
this
been the
place
mage
was
who challenged
abandoned
him.
because of this?
Sorry, say that again.
Do you think this place was abandoned because of this room? The effects of it?
I mean, the sense that I get is that perhaps after this place was abandoned, someone thought this would be an excellent place to have this
I
room
Agreed.
because no one would suspect it there.
Yeah.
So now that we know it's here, let's keep
Yeah.
that in mind.
And I think we should come back to this, but I think after we get more information about.
I
Do you
agree.
think there's anything do you think this door will rearm itself, or is there anything we can do to?
Would I know if the door will rearm or if the trap's gone?
The door appears to now be open.
Okay.
So
If it rearms, we can just reopen it.
You're not
No,
sure.
but it's more so if
Protecting,
any whatever potentially from any.
Do we not think that we should at least like walk in and look around the room but not step into the circle?
Well, the
I'm-
circle's the entire room, right?
The circle is the main part of the
I see.
room, but there is edging because the circle itself is fitted entirely inside with all the markings around the exterior having to be on the floor. There are places that you can jump over into the corners of the room, but it is very large. The circle itself is about 14, 15 feet.
And you
What
said it was
has-
done with like paint, right? Or,
Yeah,
okay.
it appears to just be paint at first glance.
Okay. Oh.
Is it actually paint?
Make a medicine check.
Can I assist?
Sure. Give you advantage.
Pretty good.
You have advantage.
22.
22. It is pigmented to look like blood, but is actually just dark red paint.
Oh,
Interesting.
That's actually quite Interesting.
Better than I thought
Do
it would be.
I know the doctor, he said
Hello?
they were demonic.
Boy, they are.
The glyphs in this room. Is there anything that I could know, knowing my kind of background and my kind of...
Sure. Make, for you, this will be a history check.
Are those glyphs readable by any chance? Are they in Infernal?
They're not.
Okay.
Because it's not so much a language per se as it is, you see just names.
Okay.
But symbols that create names that you don't recognize, like you would essentially be sounding out phonetic words.
That's probably
it
not a
look
great
like
idea in
anything?
a demon circle.
Sorry, we're gonna
Sorry.
go back. Well, what was that?
10.
10
He's so
for
cool.
that.
Because it's
Dictative,
child.
super
You
dope
hear
guy.
demonic, and looking at it, you're like, loosely. And for you, it's actually more devil-based. The
Yeah!
difference between demons and devils is very, very small to the average person, but for you specifically, being a tiefling, being a devil-born, you notice that this is a little bit more on the devil side than on the demon side.
Yes,
we'll
doctor,
check this
it's
out later.
definitely more devil-related.
My fiend senses are tingling, but also I want to go to that other building and then leave here.
Is there anything we can do to perhaps trap this? So...
Trap it.
I think we just close the door.
Let's just leave it.
Yeah.
No, because I'm curious to whoever put it in this place is probably likely to return at some point. If we manage to trap it and we then come back, perhaps we will
We
find
don't
more
have any-
information.
We don't
But if
have
we
anything
come
to
back in a
trap it with.
week,
Yeah.
then they're dead.
Yeah, I think that we should just close it. I feel like that I don't know much about magical things, but I think that the door will likely rearm itself.
Or we just leave the door open.
I mean, what's the harm?
I don't see an issue with it.
They said that the townspeople avoid this.
Yeah, they're not.
place.
I think it's likely that someone trapped this place in order for it to be forgotten about and never discovered. Not necessarily that it's a place that they may
To
come
keep
back
something
to.
in.
I
It's just
agree.
like hiding evidence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's
Yeah.
hop on out of here and keep
Although,
note of this bad
I mean, like,
boy.
I don't know. I think maybe we should look around the corners. Maybe I'll check and see if I can see if there's anything else that's gonna attack me if I go through the doorway.
If you go through the doorway into
Yeah.
the room with a circle,
Yeah.
looking around, there doesn't appear to be anything. Just kind of like
Okay.
very carefully looking in, it looks devoid of any adornment.
Does it actually still look as though it is within this building? It doesn't look any kind of...
It's not like in a magical space.
Appears to be the same size as what the room would be from the
Okay.
outside.
Okay.
Step through the door frame and you've disappeared.
Well, yeah.
Let's get out of here.
So maybe like without actually stepping through, I just want to cast my circles, my dancing lights around all of the different corners and just see if there's anything that looks like it's out of place or any like cobbles that look like there could be something hidden.
Sure. Go and make a perception check for that.
I can see the glyphs or the
9.
symbols.
Yeah.
Right. How long would it take me to like copy those down?
The whole thing?
Yeah.
Quite a while.
Okay. Never mind.
Yeah,
actually...
you're looking probably 15, 20 minutes. Sorry. So for you, for the perception check
9.
going around, you don't notice anything in any of the corners. Nothing really jumps out as anything of note. You do notice that having less said from the outside, that a few stones look like they were a little loose. You recognize that there are a few that appear to be a little bit loose on the inside as well.
Oh, okay, on
but
the
that's
wall.
about it.
Right.
Actually, one last thing. If this is... I'm actually curious as to whether this room is as magical as it appears. Or it's made to look more kind of intimidating. If this is meant to look like blood and it's not blood, and blood would very likely be needed, I'm thinking, for this kind of devil.
Interesting. That's an interesting thought.
Could that be correct?
Would you like to insight check the room?
Just because, like,
This room is a liar.
no,
Intimidate the room.
just
I'll
I'm
clean
thinking
you.
because, like, if it's not actually blood, would blood be needed for this kind of rite to be like for this devil kind of?
Being a paladin with your race, I'll let you make a history check on this.
Given that this is demon stuff, can I offer?
You've been corrected. You originally thought that
Oh.
it was demon.
Oh, it's devil
It is
stuff.
Devil-based.
Okay, can I have some of Leaf's guidance?
Sure.
Thank you.
Add a D4.
Sure.
Ooh, that is 22.
22? Okay. Normally, these kind of rituals, whatever they end up being, these kind of, for lack of a better term, summoning, would be something that would be done in blood. Blood is, to your knowledge, not necessary.
Oh, okay.
It is just the more common usage because of the nature of this. There appear to be a lot of ties to the offerings and to the assorted requirements to get an entity onto this side. But knowing what you know, they can be done without if the offer is good enough.
So yes, perhaps this is the place where Strahd's challenger gained some of his power in some way.
I think this is likely a place that we return to when we need to request help, and the help we need big help.
Yeah, perhaps when we understand what that sacrifice might entail.
Yeah.
On
And
to the
so
next
just so I'm
building.
clear as well, no one has set foot in the room.
Yeah.
right?
No.
Okay.
I know.
I'm just checking.
I don't know if
I'm
you.
just
Nope.
checking. It's not
Heard
a
that,
good thing
so-
or bad thing. I'm
It's just
just
a thing.
What
just
my-
checking because I want to make sure that I didn't
Yeah,
need
what
to
my
say something.
To trigger something.
check
want
was
to
was
know.
that
I do too, but Allura
blood
would not.
is not
She's like,
needed
no.
for summoning in those
I feel like
kind of
Leaf would be
words.
very
Okay.
cautious
But
about
it
this.
can be done without if it's offered something good enough.
Okay, good to know.
I say we go on to the next building.
Yeah, let's keep this in mind. Because I might want to come back here later.
Yeah.
Might have stuff to do.
Okay. So as you guys leave, you're leaving the door open.
I think we should
We're gonna
close the
shut
door.
the door.
I guess.
Yeah.
Okay. How are you closing the door?
Yeah, because we can't. No, because it's not,
Oh.
it's a push door.
It is a push door with no handle.
Let's just leave it open, guys. Who cares?
How are you closing the door?
Do we have rope?
I'm not.
Do you have rope?
I
think
have
we have
rope.
rope.
We definitely have
most
rope.
of
We have
you
rope. I have
the
rope.
in your bag.
Just get a rope and
I also have no. You're
Like
fine.
lasso
I have a
the
climber's
edge,
kit.
and we could.
well, we could
Yeah.
like tie rope with a little
Can you
lasso in
use
the
your
corner.
mage hand?
No,
No,
it's 5
the mage
pounds.
hand didn't
Yeah.
work. It's only 5 pounds.
You could
yeah.
lasso it on the corner of the door and just kind of like pull it to go. Whoop.
Yeah, but then the rope would still be there. The door, even at its like finest point, was just wide enough to be able to then move it. You would need to find a way to somehow.
Let's leave it, guys.
Yeah, we can't do anything.
We're gonna
Let's-
leave a giant demon to murder people.
Yeah, it'll be great.
The
It's
doctor
not
would
demon.
The
say
devil.
that.
It's
All right,
a devil.
fuck it. Let's get out of here.
Let's
Let's
go.
go to the room.
Hope, what's the difference between a devil and a demon? I'm afraid that this is in my area of expertise.
Well, let me tell you.
You just need a roll. Essentially, it's the different planes that they come from. Demons come more so from the planes of madness, in comparison to devils coming from the hells, the 9 hells. And in the ways that they present themselves, demons more so being creatures of monstrous nature, assorted tentacle arms, grossly engorged features of like tiny wings on a giant knuckled body with
like
huge
Cthulhu.
tusks. Whereas devils are more humanoid based, just corrupted versions. So for devils, you would be looking at things like succubi, for flying bone devils that are essentially humanoid entities, but they have their entire skeletal structure just being bone.
Is there any difference in their systems of morality? Are devils also?
They are all chaotic evil. Worst of the worst.
If we were to set an alignment to them.
If we were to set an alignment to them, they are 1 out of 9.
Yes. Okay.
Rick
And
Tavio.
demons,
He's
would
so
they
cool.
also be
So evil.
chaotic evil, or are they?
All.
I think both. Yeah, both were.
All are chaotic evil. It's that demons are the demons are the thing of nightmares. Devils are the things that devils are the thing that would come to you with an offer, and you instinctively might not realize what they are.
Oh.
We finally get in the good graces of the burgomaster and all the townspeople. Then a giant devil steps out of the
That'll be
forest.
great.
Brrr!
Is it
Big
gonna
fan.
be?
I don't want to be the one to walk through that door, but I really want to know what
Is it
happens when somebody
Dave
walks
Grohl?
through that door.
Oh, we should have let one of the guards go in.
No,
No, we
we
can't
can't
do
do
that.
that.
Hey, why don't you
doing
just go
that.
in there a minute and see what that
Hey, we
red
need help with
purple's
another
all
door, you
about?
guys.
Why don't you and your best friend sit in those
Why don't
chairs
we
opposite each other?
Why don't we send Rick through?
Rick's busy.
Okay.
Rick's on a thing.
Okay.
That would have been so good.
Alrighty, so leaving the door open.
Guess so.
Yeah, I know. I don't care.
Yeah.
Okay. Making your way outside.
What the hell is
you
times
find your way back onto the
continue?
road. Everyone a little uneasy about that whole situation.
Oh boy.
Some of you very curious, really wanting to step through that door, but deciding not to. You eventually make your way back onto the path.
Maybe the DM wants us to go.
It's just, it's funny because I know that it's true. I know that you want to step through the
We
door.
really
but
fucking
you're
do.
actively choosing not to, so that's fun.
I also think. Oh
It's
yeah.
fun to also torment you because that is my job.
We can come back, guys. It's not
I
going.
know.
It's a building.
So make
As
your
the
way back
doctor
to
eats
the
a
main
grilled
path.
cheese sandwich.
What? Just like rips out a wrap.
Where did you even
of
get that?
Freshly grilled cheese. Just
Try, guys. We'll come back
blasts.
later. It's all right, guy.
They'll just thaumaturgy the flame a little bit and.
Don't worry, man. It's fine.
Oh, I can also help with
Okay.
that. I'll do the other side so
I
you
see
can
you
make sure
aboard.
it's evenly toasted.
Rick the party in shirt.
Excuse you. This is Taika Waititi. Sure.
So, making your way up from inside this dwelling, whatever it used to be, you find your way back onto the main road, eventually heading west, and then
Can we
coming back.
actually? So right before we've left this building, is there anything we can do to write markings of warning on the door?
You could do that whole sanctify thing again.
Well, there is now no door. Les kicked
Oh,
the
yeah.
door
All right.
and shattered it into pieces.
On like the wall
Solid
next
place.
to
Shotgun.
I
Next to
could,
where the door
uh,
was.
Write in thieves can't like beware,
Sure.
like I did
Do my
outside
favorite
the
Beware.
Higgs
door.
house.
So
Smackdown.
it takes you about a minute or so to very carefully
Can I
write that in.
I'm the
sanctify
annihilator.
on the other side of that door, like where the doorway would be. I'm imagining you're writing on one side and I write on the other.
There was like kind of a
Oh, like
Let
a gate
devil
kind
out.
of thing.
Sorry.
no. There was like the front door, and then there was like the wall. So
Dump
I was
that
gonna
open
write
inside.
on the
Oh.
wall, like right here.
Whoopsie
Well,
daisy.
yeah, I'll write just beside the
Let
door.
devil out. BRB.
Can I just do it like around the
Come back later when we
entrance,
can
like
film.
around the
Or
doorway
be friends with
arch?
The doorway arch vertically is almost 10 feet.
We'll be friends
So
with him. He's
you
a
would
big
need to stand on somebody's shoulders.
That's my
but
guy.
you could do it.
And then put a devil in.
Then-
place
Stand
of
on
a
the land
vampire
tall.
wall.
Yeah, I would like to do that.
Sounds great.
So hopping up on there,
That's
how are you
how it
marking
should
it? Same
be.
way that you did before?
Exactly the same way.
So for that holy water, you can say that half of that holy water has been expended.
Okay.
So making your way back along the path, heading west through the village, you eventually come to the fork. The path heading south to your left, that one would take you out back into the forest. And then the one that just heads up a little bit to the north side, that ends up being the one that has the last house.
Let's do that, guy. And let's get out of here.
Last house.
This isn't the last house on the,
On the
left,
left,
is it?
is it?
Making your way up to this one, don't put your characters down yet.
Okay.
Oh.
A devil comes out.
Oh no.
Oh, it's near the
I actually have something narrated for this.
Okay.
As the intersection, as you make your way north out of the intersection near the middle of the village, a narrow lane winds up to the northwest side. Directly on the north side is a ruined building that might have once been a storehouse, but now you see webs stretch about 20 feet across the building to trees across the footpath.
Like webs of the giant spiders that we saw dead in front
Yeah.
of the tower.
Oh my god, I just keep trying to remember names of like giant spiders. Sorry.
Sheila.
Now, guys, we
Sheila.
could just leave.
Yeah.
Aragog.
We're coming back here anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we should just take off.
We don't want to bite off more than we can chew.
I mean, especially when some of us are kind of beat up. Not
Yeah.
me in particular. I'm feeling pretty great.
I mean,
Yeah.
but the spiders may already be dead if we
That's
already
also
saw
true.
them get
That
killed.
tree did eat that other
Can
spider.
we at a safe distance, maybe one of you could notch an arrow into the web, and that would alert.
Should we stealth into the tree line? And
No.
Not
Maybe
into
we
the
should-
tree line. Don't
Guys,
touch the trees.
Maybe we should go.
But I think if we are still at a distance and we can see, because that's how spiders work, if something touches the web, they go to
Philip,
that.
it was really cool. I kept dropping things to watch him. Yeah, I agree with that.
I was like Philip, and then I was like, oh, Philip.
Philip.
Yeah.
So, I
Alright,
have
so
a
it's
mage
like-
hand.
Philip, sure, I believe it.
He does
It's
have
getting
a
less
he does have a
believable.
mage hand.
You want me to twang it with the mage hand? Give it a little strum? Play
You
the
go up
first
to
few.
go.
First bit of Layla.
Behold.
There's something about Mary.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah,
I mean-
you straight up had like the very switch.
So good.
Here's the thing. I'll do it if we want, but I'm also saying we could also just leave with the shield and
It's
come
true.
back
Let's.
later.
I don't want to fight more things. I think we need to just take what we have.
We can always come back.
But basically, we're seeing if we have to fight anything.
But if we poke it, maybe we'll have to fight it. Is what we're saying.
Are the hunters nearby at all? Can we see them? Any sign of them?
You can't see the hunters anywhere.
What if I... Yeah, whistle them.
Yeah, you do a quick whistle. You hear two responses. One near the entrance to where you came in, and one on the far side to the north. Probably would guess behind where the Ashen Zombie house
Okay,
was.
so nowhere close to us. They're just casting it from
They're
there.
substantially
there-
far away, at least 120 feet.
Are there any ravens nearby?
Ravens, make a perception check.
I said, let's come back for this.
Yeah, let's come back.
20. There appear to be 2 or 3 circling very high overhead. None that have landed anywhere.
A leaf, or is it leaf? You can communicate. Maybe that way we can find out whether there are actually.
I mean, I could try to talk to them, but they're quite far away, and they're
If
not
we make
necessarily
a
the
bunch
most
of noise.
Yeah, we haven't had
communicative
success.
creatures.
Yet with the ravens.
It's true. I mean, I personally think we could just at least try and just tweak it and see what happens, because coming up all this way again just for one house seems a bit of a waste of time in the future.
But we got that shield, though.
I'm just saying we could just poke the web and see what happens.
And then fight the spiders.
No,
But-
we're far enough. Like, we're far. How far away from the house are we?
You tell me.
I think if we still stand like 30
Basically,
feet
when
back,
we saw the webs, we would have stopped.
Sure. So give or take 80 feet.
Yeah.
Okay. And the guards are.
The
With
guards
us.
are following along behind you guys, just essentially looking real bored.
Yeah.
Because they didn't go into any of the houses. They just saw you guys go in and come out burned, covered in ash. Saw you fighting the tree, would come back with scrapes and cuts and branches through parts of your
You gotta
skin.
remember that we gotta keep those squishy people safe too.
I mean, they can stay back there.
I'm feeling pretty good about leaving this behind.
Are you
If you,
sure,
if you,
Doctor?
if you want to twang it, you
I think we
can
should twang
follow
it.
My
Far
mage
enough
hand's
away
only 30
that-
feet.
We can
I'll
notch an
fire an arrow.
I'm
Yeah.
just gonna do one little thing because we had somebody comment in the chat. This is gonna be your helpful pigeon. Use a burst of wind.
Gust of wind?
It's your time!
Oh, thank God!
Thank you,
Gust of wind.
commentator.
Thanks, whoever that
I
Thanks,
can,
friend.
I can,
Thanks, animal eyes.
I can summon a gust of wind and blow it towards the webbed area and see if
Someone
anything
had
vibrates.
All right.
Oh, sorry, this was a while ago to close the door.
Oh.
Too late. Leaving it behind.
Fuck.
Too late.
I mean, we could go back.
Besides,
and
it's a
close
heavy
it,
door,
but
like a gust of wind.
Yeah, I
wouldn't
don't
do
think
it.
Yeah, I wouldn't
gonna
think
work.
that would have helped either.
Besides, it's fine.
It's fine. We just loose the devil upon the world.
That's
all.
fine.
Yeah.
That's
well,
pretty
I mean,
in
we're
keeping
living
for
in
our party.
a world run by a devil, so.
Yeah.
That's all that happens.
We'll sick devil
So,
against
all
devil. It'll be
about
like,
yin and
Excuse me,
yang,
can you stop
guys.
talking shit on devils?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. I like them. I'm fine with letting this guy out.
So, what would you like to do for the spiders?
At least.
Sorry, for the webs, I should say.
Well, what do you
Burst of
think,
wind?
Alif?
Burst of wind.
That was for a door.
I think that an
Thaumaturgy,
arrow is going to be
yeah.
a
It's got like I think it's only like 30 feet as well.
All right.
Gust of wind?
Yeah.
I think so.
Just do the arrow.
Arrow's
Yeah.
easier. We
Sure.
can actually.
Arrow's been fired.
Notch and
Pew,
fire.
pew.
Notch and fire the arrow. I'll just make it do.
Whereabouts are you gonna aim as well? Like, are you gonna aim the furthest
Because it's
point?
stretching it's stretching from the door.
Ooh.
It's stretching from the door
Like.
across 10 feet on either side of the door.
I'll just
Let's go.
aim at the door so that if there is a place where like the webs could be affected the most and make the most movement, then I'll aim there.
Sure.
So probably
You can
across the
tackle.
door. Okay.
I would also have ready.
I'll have
ready to actions.
a javelin ready.
Crossbow?
Yeah.
Okay. So javelin, you're out of range completely.
Oh, bollocks.
Yeah, no, it's
Yeah.
just range.
It's 60 foot. So
18.
18? Okay. So, and taking aim, you very carefully find your shot and fire, and the arrow impacts and then cuts a few strands, and then you just hear the clattering of the arrow against the ground. And then very carefully listening, perception check.
Oh, I actually have a heavy crossbow. Is that out of range?
Yeah.
That would work.
Okay, heavy crossbow.
23.
23. No sound on the other side.
Nothing happened.
Feels awfully spider ambushy.
Perhaps, but I don't think. I mean, I wonder if I might
So
know
you
that
all look
these creatures are
Yeah, I was gonna
intelligent
say.
enough to really mount an ambush, or if they'd be reactionary enough that if an arrow entered their den, that they would just make noise.
Spiders are pretty smart.
Make a nature check as a ranger.
Can we assist?
Can
in
Leaf
that?
offer guidance?
A leaf?
Ah, whoa. 20!
Hey!
Bounced off that and then landed there like that.
Oh, man.
Nice.
That was cool.
Parkour.
Yeah, the whole thing with giant spiders, even though they are creatures that can definitely overwhelm prey, they are natively ambush creatures.
Okay. I maybe think that's kind of changed my mind a little bit about what we're doing here.
Well.
I'm like,
Look who was right.
After all that,
Let's go.
you guys, I really think we should. Whoa,
But,
wait.
so
I
the-
never said let's go inside.
oh, I didn't
I
say
just
that.
said let's twang the web.
Just
Yeah,
trying it a
that's
bit.
all I
We
said.
did, so now we will go.
Yeah.
Let's
You
go.
twanged and
Wait.
Oh, no.
Wait a second.
Can we light the web on fire?
No.
I mean, we could.
No.
Second.
So is it only the front door that is affected by the webs? Is the back door?
We can't
You
see
know
We
that.
can't see that.
You are
Coming
still
up.
8
All right.
feet south.
Okay. Can we see how? So the web is 10 feet across
10
the
feet
entrance,
on either side of the door.
but it doesn't appear to be around the sides.
Well, you can only see along the right-hand side, and you can just see that it
we
gets to
need
the
to leave
edge.
this.
You are too far away to see how the building goes from
And
here.
this is the edge of the woods. Is that correct?
Correct.
Okay.
we need to leave it.
don't.
Let's come
We'll leave
back
it.
to this. It's not going anywhere.
Yeah, we have all the time in the world to come back and scorch the fuck out
mean-
of these guys.
Not that I want us to be wasting money, but we do have a decent amount of gold, and the hunters will probably take us back here again for another 20 gold.
Oh yeah, we also
That's true.
know the way.
We
Yeah,
do,
we
but
marched the way.
but it may be good for us to have the backup.
That's
Not that they've really helped us so far, but
Yeah, they've done
they have to
literally
fight the
nothing.
direwolves.
yeah, that's true. I mean, we don't know what they've
Yeah.
staved off in the woods
Okay.
since we've been out here.
Let's get out of here, guys.
Okay, let's go.
Okay.
So maybe I'll just like to like tell the hunters that we're ready to go. Yeah, like that.
What is it? What's it?
That was like almost right.
I know, I messed it up a
Enough
little.
different that I was
I'm
just
a
like,
little off my blue jay.
Yeah, I was gonna say, what's the kind of the? What's
Oh, they
the?
do that and they go like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew there was
Or in
some
the
kind
other
of.
movie, it's
Yeah.
in the parody movie.
Oh
There's a
god.
parody movie?
Yeah, it's
Oh,
called
my.
the Hunger Games.
Oh, we're
no.
talking Hunger Games. I thought we were doing Close Encounters.
So I say that to them.
Okay.
I whistle that to them, to the hunters.
And there doesn't appear to be any response.
Yeah.
I thought I had it.
No.
I really thought I had it this time. I'm trying to bone up on my bird calls. It's not all birds under the sea.
Elise, are they on their way?
I whistled.
Yep. So for you, so for that, there appears to be no response.
Mhm.
You just kind of instinctively just kind of and just do the single loud whistle.
Yeah.
And then you get the response of the double short whistle back, and you begin to see slight branch movement, and then eventually Yevgeny comes out from the far side of the village and begins to make his way along the path, following you through.
Do any birds come to me?
Oh.
No
There are no
mockingjays.
the only
That's
birds
the
around
one.
are the now 2 of the 3 ravens that are circling overhead.
I feel like we're getting watched by these ravens that are
I
constantly.
agree, but the ravens are supposed to guide us at some point.
At some point.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, let's not mess with it right now. We
All
need
right.
to.
Evgeny, Zoldar, let's get out of here.
Yes, this is a good idea. We will take you back. Please follow us. I have scoped a trail. It will be very safe.
All right.
They begin to lead their way back. In this case, go ahead and make. Which one did you not touch? Oh yeah.
You touched one?
No. Made sure that I grabbed the one that you did touch. Natural 3.
No.
So, making your way back, the trail that Zoldar
I know every single time now.
The trail that Zoldar lined out seems to be very similar to the one that you were following when you were coming in. A few slight differences. You notice he takes you a little bit. You notice specifically, takes you a little bit further west than normal, and kind of further into the trees. And then you start to realize, and you start to just hear shit, and then very carefully turns around and begins to follow along. I'm just gonna do this once because no one said it. You guys haven't been marking your path.
Yeah, we have.
We did coming out. Going back, you haven't started marking the path going back, so I'll get one person to make a d20 roll. 11 or above, you marked it. 10 or below, you didn't. Because I know it's something that like you should say, but there was the general assumption that.
So
'cause
we're
you
on a
marked-
different path.
Yeah.
Correct.
But they're both
Okay.
safe paths.
Supposedly.
Who wants
wants
to
to
make
do
that?
that?
It's just a straight
It's
roll.
Straight roll. 11 to 20, you've been marking your path. 1 to 10, you have
Who
not.
wants
Doing
to
it.
make that?
Oh my god.
Okay.
Fuck.
So you have not been.
I was
marking
gonna
your path.
suggest Amanda roll the fuck dice. Die.
No one's
Yeah.
making a move.
No,
That's true.
it wasn't liking me.
You know what? I appreciate your initiative on that.
So, you realize partway through that you haven't been marking, and you instinctively pull out. It was just a dagger, right, that you were marking it with.
Actually, I was marking it,
Oh,
I
you
think,
were
with my
marking it, right,
short
sorry.
sword.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
your short sword. And you instinctively pull out your short sword and just kind of realize, oh shit. And you start to make your way back and kind of looking through. I'll get you to make a survival check for me.
Well, fuck you guys. Sweet. 25.
25. Okay. So not an issue for you. Zoldar, having lost his way, marking a path, and then realizing that he was following markings from a previous game trail that he hunted on, he was accidentally taking you down a hunting trail in comparison to a return trail. But realized it and did not manage to encounter anything. Making your way back, you do eventually find your way back to the entrance to the prayer grounds. And do you want to try and find your original path, or do you want to have them find you a new path to return home?
We have the markings.
Yeah, let's try and see
But
if we...
we paid them to guide us.
It's true, but
He just got lost.
Yeah.
They just fucked up.
Homeboy just fucked
Let's
up.
How-
as a group
how much
look
do
for
we
the
believe
markings
that it was
and
a-
then have them lead us down that path.
How much do we
Right?
believe that it was an
yeah, that's actually a point. Does it seem like that they just made an honest mistake, or was there something more nefarious going on?
Make an insight check.
I'm sorry, I'm
11.
these guys.
11. Tough to read, but the surprise
Let me add it.
and the slight
These woods
outburst
down.
seemed fairly genuine.
Okay. So, I'd say let's try and find our markings so that we get practice trying to find this place and find the markings in the woods.
Good thought.
And then we keep them with us, like leading, but we keep an eye on the trail and the markings as we go.
All right, sounds good.
And they just kind of. I apologize for this. It's not something that we are used to. Unfortunately, these woods are very heavily marked from our past travels. We will return on this path. It may be a little more precarious than usual, but we will do our best. And so they'll take you down that path. Do you want them to be leading?
Yes.
Wait, what do you mean more
What do you
precarious
mean
than
precarious?
We came out here at daybreak.
Yes.
The hunting does not usually yet begin at that time. With the hour being what it is now, the hunting patterns of the animals may have changed. We may end up going into some kind of thing. So we will attempt to circumvent this as best we can. But if you would like to simply follow those markings back, there's a small likelihood that some kind of an encounter might ensue.
Well, if
That's
you
fine.
think that there's a better path that would be
The
less
better
dangerous,
path was one that I thought that I had marked and I lost my way on. We could attempt
Yeah,
to
fuck
find
you.
this path,
Fucking god.
and it would just take me a little bit to make sure that I find the correct markings. But otherwise, of course, we can just follow your path if you would like to do this.
As wilderness travelers who are familiar with this area, what is the safest option?
Right now, given the time, we normally wait until closer to dusk to begin to come back. There are not many animals that hunt during the day, but the ones that do have very keen eyesight. So there are two options. We can either wait until dusk begins to come. Not tonight, of course.
No.
We would ensure that you get back before night.
First I had that record.
But you would have to stay nearby in a fairly open area for the next few hours. Or we could attempt to go somewhere very quietly.
Let's do
and be
that
able
one.
to try and make our way up around whatever animals are in our way.
I'm with that one. I think we get back to town.
I agree. Perhaps dusk would be as dangerous as night, but I don't think that we should trifle with the powers of darkness. We'd like to go back now, so we'll follow with what trail you think is best.
Were we going to take that copper sun?
Oh yeah.
Nah, well, whatever.
No.
Too late.
So the copper sun, just so you're aware, is 12 feet in diameter.
Yeah, no, we're not gonna get that
No,
quiet.
if you want to be quiet.
Looking up at it, judging by the size and the thickness, even if it was hollow, it would probably weigh close to 100 pounds.
Okay.
Look at this offering we have.
Pulling it out of the bag.
What am I gonna do?
It ends somewhere.
Actually, could it go in the bag of holding?
No, if it doesn't fit through the opening, then it
Yeah.
can't
It's
go
just
in.
giant
Oh
thing.
my
just
God.
No,
plunk.
it's not that big. So that's as wide as you can make the satchel. Anything wider than that, there's no way to put it in there.
Cool.
Okay.
Let's mosey.
Yeah.
So you
We
want
would
them
be
to
marking.
leading?
Yes, they're leading,
we'll be marking
we're
the trail.
marking the trail.
Okay. So initially, you begin to follow the trail heading out south. I'll need everybody to make stealth checks. Hope this is a disadvantage because of your armor, and it's also a disadvantage for Leaf.
How'd that mean for?
Can I assist in any way to
Oh
the people?
no!
There is no assistance.
Yeah,
This is
okay.
individual checks.
You are the rogue.
And
You are the rogue.
God damn it.
is there any things that I would add
The
to it
door
or no?
snatcher is
You add
more
your
stealthy
stealth.
than the rogue is.
All right, 8.
8.
Look,
Oh.
Oh, and it's okay. Leaf got
not 20, and then a
That's cocked.
yeah. But it was at disadvantage
Disadvantage.
anyway, so it didn't include it.
What did Leaf get?
Leaf rolled a 16.
Oh.
Well
And
done,
a
Leaf.
1
Oh.
with a 2 to stealth. So that's a 3.
At least it's not a
Allura.
9.
Less.
16.
18.
18.
8.
Loud against
24.
trolls, stealthy against
24.
everyone else.
I rolled a 2.
So,
We're not gonna make it out alive,
we've
guys.
also got Yevgeny and Zoldar.
And what about the gods?
Oh, and yeah.
Wingus
Johnny
and
Boy and
Dingus,
Schmidt.
I believe. The
Wingus
names
and
keep
Dingus.
changing. Which
It
names
is
are
Schmidt.
It is
Schmidt.
Schmidt.
And
Aaron.
Aaron, that's
Yeah.
right.
Aaron
Hey, Aaron.
Well, Schmidt,
is dead.
Oh, no.
the talkative one, continues to be a little on the talkative side.
Can we gag
Fucking
him?
guy.
Aaron actually manages to be fairly silent, hiding their armor, making sure that they are not really making as much sound as possible.
We'll get that.
The two hunters, they're fairly stealthy. You can see them up into the trees a little bit, climbing along the branches, but making very little sound. Overall, as a party, it's not the quietest group. Making your way through, you following along with Yevgeny and Zoldar. I need to know the marching order.
I'm sick. I'd probably be in the front because
I'd
I'm
be-
marking the trees behind where they are.
But
and
if
where
What
we're
is
gonna
our
fight
marching order going
something,
in?
the shooter should be in the back and the heavy should be.
but
in
we
the
don't
front.
know if that
Yeah,
that's
we
it,
don't
under
know.
the
It's following
assumption that
us.
something would come from the front.
Yeah, there will be things following us. So I
I
feel
guess
like
so.
I would be kind of near the back because that's
Yeah.
where I was initially. I'm
I think
armored,
I was as well, so.
Yeah.
and
Would it be
I
back
wanted
there,
to make sure
I
the
think I
gods
was-
come back with us alive.
I was center-ish.
Yeah.
I think
Sorry.
I was following Alith.
So it was Alif.
So before it was the hunters,
Yeah.
hunters, elite, less Doc, and then back to Leaf, the guards, and Hope. Bring up the rear.
Let's just do that again.
Stay with
Wasn't
that.
there.
Yeah.
You were in between. You and Leaf were essentially side by side.
We were skipping. I remember.
Let's do that again,
We were
guys.
skipping through the forest.
That
So we
seems
got
safe.
the two guards here. We got Elise, and then me.
So it was the hunters, hunters, Elith, Les, Doctor, Leaf and Allura, the guards, and Hope.
Yeah, that seems fair.
The guards.
That also makes sense because you've got good survival too, right?
Yeah.
So put you guys up
We were
front.
skipping together.
So, making your way through, Yevgeny and Zoldar up in the trees.
I'm
blazing
sorry
the
for
trail
ruining it for you, but this has been for weeks. I've had this.
Me too. But now
Which-
we're
Well,
Every time you say, making our way.
and we
Oh, like downtown walking fast.
make
Yeah.
your way downtown.
Now you're dead.
Something hasn't gone down. No, I just wanted to be Terry Crews in the car, just.
And I miss you.
And I need you.
Hey, that could be our intro
I
video.
could actually.
Yeah.
We could all get in
We need to
cosplay and
rewrite
just
it.
like walking down a tree.
I am.
need to
I think this is future
With respect,
meme.
no.
So, making your way through.
Yep.
The two hunters managed to find a slightly altered trail. They initially started on the one that you were following, and then eventually branch off a little bit further south, whereas the previous trail headed a little bit more east. But trusting in them, you begin to make your way down, and then abruptly stop and wait. I'm gonna get everyone just make a quick perception check for me.
Oh, wrong one.
Crud.
All right.
Man, I've been rolling good tonight.
16.
6.
20.
15.
25.
25. Okay. Overall, very high rolls. You begin to hear the sounds of cracking branches on the ground. No howling, but very heavy footfalls. Not stealthy footfalls, but further ahead from where you are. You instinctively hold the party back as you begin to kind of almost bump into each other as you're moving. And peering through, everyone except Les,
What?
because you rolled a 5, right?
I rolled a 6.
6, yeah, sure.
Hello.
Everyone except Les, you notice that there's a creature that most of you haven't seen before. It's a very large, 4-legged creature, but with essentially almost the size of a bear, but with a very large protrusion of a beak in front of it,
Oh, is it a bugbear?
Bugbear.
No bear.
and
No, owlbear.
feathered tufts around its face, and very large, kind of sunken, deep-set eyes that are kind of moving almost independently of each other as it begins to just very slowly lumber in front of you.
Owlbear.
Owlbear.
It's a bear. It's also an owl.
Oh, I've
It's a
not
bear
heard
with
of
an owl face head.
I've
It
not
sounds
heard of
cute, but I
those.
bet it's
It's
mean.
very deadly.
Yes.
It kind of just stops, and you can see it just kind of begin to look around a little bit, and just kind of like incline its head and kind of go up onto its 2 rear legs, and then just kind of like begin to look around within the trees, and then kind of pop back down onto its front legs and begin to meander slowly forward. Given the order of the party, with the 2 loud characters not being in the front, it did not seem to have picked up on any scent or any movement of the party. With a very low perception roll, and with the
I was about to do my Mockingjay tweet, but then
Don't
she
you
stopped
dare.
me.
So, the owlbear does move in front of you, eventually clearing off the path, and then you continue to wait as 4 more
Oh!
lumber across, with the alpha apparently leading the pack ahead
That would
on
have
some
sucked.
kind of a hunting party, as the others remain behind, very silently, stealthily waiting until the entire pack moves in front of you, beyond view, and you see Yevgeny and Zoldar begin to slowly move along the trees again.
Oh my god.
Nice save, gang.
Dodge that bullet.
Those are some high ass perception rolls. you guys making your way south, eventually you begin to carry back onto the originally marked trail. You marking with your short sword begin to notice that your markings are being doubled up. And you've now rejoined with a trail that you recognize, and given that it was only, at this point, 6-7 hours ago, actually no, it'd be more than that, it would be about 8 hours, 9 hours ago, you would begin to make your way back, and you would recognize that you're beginning to get to the edge of the forest, where you would eventually then return to the main path with Lake Zarovich further to the north, and then the town of Vallaki to the south.
Cool. Let's head back. Let's head back, guys.
Congratulations, guys.
Yeah, we
So,
didn't die.
make your way back. You eventually reach the gates. The gates are closed and locked. 2 archers up top, bows drawn, and you can see that arrows are knocked, but not pulled back. Arrows are strong, I should say, but not knocked, but not strung.
Knocked but not aimed, or
Knocked, but not strung.
okay.
And the guards up top are waiting. The guards underneath, looking out at the party. Yevgeny, Zoldar, come. And the 2 of them approach the gates, as do the 2 guards coming up from behind the rear. And brief conversation ensues. And then the gates begin to get unlocked. Gates open inwards, and you're allowed back inside the town.
Nice. What time is it?
At this point, we'd be ballparking around 4 o'clock.
Okay.
I think before we left, I think we would have put the shield in the
Bag of holding.
Bag of
yeah,
holding?
it wouldn't be obvious. We would have found some way to.
Oh, so we would have swapped it back? Because I put my shield in the bag of holding.
Yeah, we
and
can
then
swap it
also-
back.
Maybe we'll swap back.
But did we swap it back before we rejoined with the guards? And
No, we did
Well,
not.
the guards were upstairs. They saw you pull the shield off.
Oh,
They know you
Oh, okay.
have it.
Then
Yeah.
okay.
Whatever.
Never mind.
yeah, I don't think it.
They know you have it. They also know that the reason for this trip, based on his marks. Well, actually, no. Sorry, they wouldn't know that. Never mind.
Yeah, so
So
they've
maybe we can
just seen us
still-
have a cool shield.
Yes.
Yeah, they saw you find a shield in the prayer grounds.
Cool.
Okay.
Any pings back?
Not immediately.
Okay.
Okay. Before we part ways with Yevgeny and Zoldar, I would go to them and say, "Thank you for guiding us. We may want to return. Would you be interested in another trip at a different time, later date?"
The gold is always in our interest. You, of course, know where we are.
I
Please
do.
just come and find us.
Well, thank you for keeping myself and my companions safe in those woods. I can see that after our little encounter there's many dangers to be found.
The woods are not a safe place for anyone.
No.
They are somewhere that we go only when it is worth our time. And now that you have returned, we can be a little more honest that we have left those who we found a danger to ourselves.
I thought that might be the case, but
Only when the situation deemed it necessary.
I understand.
Either we survived, or none of us did.
I understand. That's very practical of you. I can appreciate that.
Practicality is required in this world. Now, after today, I need a drink.
Yeah, as do we all. One last question before we part ways. Have you ever routed any nests of large spiders in that area?
Spiders do not produce the finest of meats. They are not something that we actively hunt, as they do not really bring any true value to the town. We have had to kill a few in our time, but they are not something that we go out of our way to find.
Any particular weaknesses you can relate to me?
Do not get caught in the webs.
Also, don't
Not
Noted.
particularly a weakness, but something to be wary
It's
of.
Good advice.
A
Thank
few
you.
people try and break their way through the webs. You must cut them. There are no ways to stab at them or try and, lack of a better word, bludgeon your way through them.
I see that.
Slice and dice.
Well, thank you for the words of advice.
For the gold you paid, it is the least we can do. Now, we must actually make our way back out and hunt, otherwise this day will be a bit of a waste.
Well, good hunting.
Farewell. And then the 2 of them instinctively head back towards the gate. Gate is unlocked immediately, and they are allowed back out into the waning hours of the daylight, but still definitely at least a few hours left.
Cool.
What time is it?
It's give or take around 4:30 at this point. So, you would get a ping.
Cool.
Yeah.
Very good.
So,
Let's head back to the
what would you like to do?
inn.
Yeah, let's wander on back to the inn.
Perhaps we go to the church and
We just have
give the box to the father there.
You guys do your thing. I got a thing.
Do you need any help with your thing?
I think I'll be okay.
Okay, are you sure, Doctor? About being by yourself in the city?
Oh, I know my way around a city.
I can imagine that being true.
I want to go visit Mr. Sells a Lot, the guy that had the rug.
Sure.
I think that we should return the.
So we can do a party split. You guys are in the town if you like. You know that you're safe in the town. The guards are kind of watching your back. It's up to you to decide what you'd like to do, or we can stay as a party. Just let me know.
Yeah, well, you guys are returning the thing back, right?
So I know that you wanted to return the box of coin to the Church of St. Andrew.
Yeah.
You wanted to go see
Dingus.
Dingus?
Carl Strauss.
Yeah.
And then
I thought it was your dingus.
No.
So that's why I was like,
I
don't
gotta
know
check
who's
in with Rick
dingus.
still.
so
Which-
checking in with Rick, checking in with Carl, and then checking into the church. Anything else?
You want to go see Carl again?
I want to go talk to him about those missile snaring gloves that he had.
And what do you think you have to trade for it? Can I ask?
I don't know just yet.
A fun story.
Go exactly.
That's so many dots.
I wanted to know what he wanted for them.
He said trade. He was. Oh, I wasn't there.
You were?
He wants
But you heard about the deal offer after.
Yeah,
he wants to trade
Right.
for defensive weapons.
something that's unique, potentially magical and defensive, is what he'd be interested in trading for other magical artifacts that are also defensive. So I think for the gloves, what was it originally?
The Heart of Cinnamon, the other trident.
Yes.
So
Another thing.
The deal was the heart was straight across for anything.
Yeah.
If you wanted something,
Yep.
you would give him the heart. He would give you that. You already made the deal for the +1 shield, which was
Right.
all the other stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So if you wanted to, you can give up the heart. You can either get the gloves, the goggles, or the immovable rod.
That rod's cool though.
I got that. So.
Okay. Well, yeah. Let's.
Let's start off with the church. So who wants to go to the church and drop off the prayer box?
I'll join you because I found it. I may as well.
I'd like
See
to
it
go,
twins.
and on the walk there, I would like to be. So, folks, how do we feel about the doctor's actions at the moment? I'm getting a little suspicious about his secrecy.
He hasn't steered us wrong yet. He's my oldest friend.
Did you come
weren't
along
with
with
you.
us?
Let's
Just
bounce
behind
out
you.
from the corner.
Make a stealth check.
Hello, friends.
Well, I thought you guys were talking to me about like what the
Well,
guy was
we
offering,
were,
so
but
I
I
didn't,
didn't
so
know
I
if
didn't
you-
go anymore.
Yeah, no. You, sorry. That was made, but you didn't say that you were going to the church. Are you going to the church?
Oh, I guess so. Well, after I thought you were
No,
talking to me
you-
in character.
Yeah,
Well,
no,
we were,
that's why I
but-
said you're going
Who
to
was
the
going
church,
to the
and
church?
the three of them nodded. And
All right.
didn't do anything.
Fine.
You can come with
No.
and continue
No.
that.
Actually, you know
No.
what? I'm gonna walk Leaf back to the inn, and then I'm gonna go from there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Leaf wanting to make his way back to the inn.
Yeah.
No issues with that.
Yeah.
You would be able to make that trip back.
Yeah. Then I'm gonna check in with Rick once these guys are done.
Yeah. So, for you heading over to the church.
Are you
Big-
coming, Les?
I don't know. Am I?
Yes.
It's up to you.
Okay.
If you want to.
Is okay I'm going or okay I'm not?
Yes, I'll go to the church.
Okay, you're going to the church.
Okay,
Got it.
that conversation wouldn't happen then if
If
Les
Les
was there.
Understood.
So we are going to give this to the father, but I feel like we should be together as a group before we decide whether to give this shield as a gift.
I don't think that we should think about doing that just yet. I mean, I think that perhaps
Because I would like to seek your advice.
we could also see what kind of social currency returning this item from a lost church to the church here in town.
I trust the father. I think the father would guide us well on this.
Yes, I think we should ask for his guidance or his council.
I don't necessarily think we should tell him about the shield.
You think that we should keep the shield?
Well, I don't think that we should necessarily keep it. I'm not arguing for that eventually, but I'm just saying we should maybe not let anyone know about it just yet.
I think that's wise.
Including the father, who, for all of his endorsement of us, seems like a trusting man, to say the least. Especially of the people who are in this town.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you're not going to build up much trust with the locals if you give them distrust. What?
You're
What?
not here. Oh, you are
You're
here.
here.
You are here.
He
You are here.
Oh.
You're not here. You are here. You're not here.
I don't fucking know where I am. I'm in the primordial
Les is
other
here.
realm where no one exists.
So,
Yeah, so,
I'm not necessarily arguing that we're disingenuous about it, but I do think that for now we just don't mention it.
I don't know how comfortable I am about that.
I'm not saying lie. I'm just saying don't volunteer what we found.
we
Instead, we immediately go with the strong box.
I think that we keep the information close to our chest to play those cards at the most opportune moment.
I also think we should perhaps get back to the inn and discuss with the doctor and Leaf when we're behind closed doors about
Yes.
what to do next.
Yeah, I think we should
yeah.
drop off the collections box to the church and return to the inn.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, I can agree to that.
We understand, Hope, if you're asked directly, that it would be hard for you to lie, but I'm just saying perhaps we distract the priest with the box and we don't necessarily talk about what else we found.
Yeah.
Or you can let one of us answer when he asks what else we found. I have no problem.
Yeah, we don't have to give up that information. We can tell him we found more coins and we found a tree that had taken over a church. And
We could tell him that we slayed the monster that had desecrated the church.
That's true. We did try and sanctify some of the buildings.
We left blessings.
Yes.
We have information that we can share without sharing all of the information that could help us.
Do you think he could shed some light on that, on the devil room, or not?
I think that that's another.
He seems like sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, we gotta tell him something. We can't
Exactly.
keep everything a secret.
I'm not saying
like,
keep everything, but he doesn't seem like a priest with very much knowledge of the esoterics. When we asked him about the four gods, he could barely tell us about the
Seems he's
Mother
very,
of Night,
very focused on Palor.
Palor.
right.
So I don't feel he would have much information. I don't think he's the right person to ask these questions of.
Would Carl be the right person to ask? What do we think? Does that guy seem like he knows?
Strauss?
Yes.
The great Carl Strauss.
I don't. Maybe.
He seems more defensive.
He would have heard a lot of things. He's
That's
probably
true.
would ask for a price,
That's
but he's
true.
got a lot of adventurers coming through. If that showcase shows
That's what I'm
anything,
wondering.
he's met a lot of powerful people over there all
That's-
the time.
That's very true.
We could play that one by ear the next time we're at his shop and see.
Yeah.
It may cost
Okay.
us, but the knowledge may be worth it.
Okay.
Okay, I feel more comfortable in what we're doing now.
He seems
we
like a guy
arrived?
that can keep a secret.
Have we arrived at the church yet?
it would take you the better part of 40 minutes to make your way through the town, eventually over to the church at just a standard walking pace. So you would eventually be there after a bit of just light discussion, and then quieting as guards approach and continuing on from there. But you would eventually make your way to the church. Being at the doors are currently open. It appears that some kind of one of the last sessions of the day is being begun, as you know from before. The last session, or the last
Service?
thank you. I was going to say sermon. Service appears to wrap up just before the night breaks. So, making your way inside, you would see that Father Petrovich is currently behind the altar, speaking of the dawn that will be coming, and the long night ahead, and the strength that is required to get through those times. But the requirement of the people and the things that we do every day that make our lives a little bit better and better for those around us. us. This would continue on for the better part of an hour or so, because it's a fairly long sermon, and eventually ending with a communal basket being passed around as everybody passes it along. For the most part, very few people dropping any coinage in, but a few copper pieces, once in a while a silver piece ends up getting popped in, and then eventually it makes their way to the back where it gets collected by Millibaj and then brought up along the side.
I think, would we have added the coins to that collection, kept the box, and then I think it might be a good idea to add it to the collection during service, because that is part of it.
I think that we could present the whole thing to the
I think it's better
father.
to present it all to the father. I think we could perhaps add in our own coin to it.
Okay.
Are you thinking we should
I
be
think
more anonymous?
I think being part of the service would be seen as a good act and would be received well.
I would say if you're looking at it from that perspective of sort of symbolic gesture, perhaps we just add a few coins of our own to just the plate, but also like let the father know the context of the coins that are joining his collection plate.
That's what I'm saying. Is so add the coins.
Not the ones that we found. I'm saying it's a couple of our own coppers, but maybe let him know exactly what, like, which ones are the ones that we found in the prayer grounds.
So it leaves meaning we still kind of keep the box that we found for and present that separately, but add some coins in the meantime to still be part of the service.
Okay, I don't feel like adding my coins.
I'm happy to add.
I have a few coppers. I don't mind doing a little bit.
I'm going to add in 1 gold piece.
So as the tray gets passed around, you do a quick little scan inside. You find that there's about 12 copper pieces, 13 copper pieces, and 2 silver.
Yeah, I'm going to put 1 of my gold pieces in.
How much do I have? I guess I would add a silver piece too.
As would I.
Silver? Okay. Good to know. Alrighty. So Millibaj ends up collecting that. You can see that he kind of looks down at the gold piece and looks over at you and just kind of like a slight little nod of appreciation, and then at the two of you, slightly smaller one, but still definitely appreciative nods, with the silver pieces being doubled by what you two added in. Tray gets collected, gets brought up to a side table beside Father Petrovich, and he kind of glances down and just kind of looks at it and notices the gold piece and just kind of looks out and big thank you to the entire congregation, all 7 people that are really there.
Including us 4?
Not including before.
Okay.
The 7 of the standard townsfolk. And then the sermon begins to end, and eventually makes his way off and does catch all of your eyes sitting in the back, and begins to make his way down one of the aisles as everyone is thanking him, and eventually catches up with you at the edge. It's just good to see everyone again. But it's hard to believe it's only been a day and a half. Not many interesting things really tend to happen in this town, so it's a bit strange when so many things of this amazing group of adventurers coming in, and then man's business livelihood getting burned down, and the gods chasing, and then all of a sudden the festival happening in a day. It's quite an exciting time.
Well, you know what's been happening, Father, and you know our story.
I do. I appreciate it.
And we appreciate all of the help you've given. We did make it out to the prayer grounds as we had intended.
I'm so glad to hear that. Were you able to find anything of any interest?
Would you like to?
We did discover an old collection box, and we brought it back to yourself as a gesture of appreciation and respect for those who are no longer with us in that community.
That is greatly appreciated. It really means a lot to see that you brought that back. Not many would probably do that, unfortunately. Far too many people see a bit of coin and it just goes to their head and they end up pocketing it. So, may I ask, what is this box? May I see it?
Well, Hope has it. Hope, would you like
It
to
was
show
in the
the father?
bag.
Was it in the
wasn't
bag?
No,
I thought you were
had
carrying
it.
it.
Okay,
You were like,
yeah.
no, we gotta return it.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
The rest of us were like while the father's sitting there Elise is kind of like,
Seething quietly.
I was.
Yeah.
I didn't really care. Like, she doesn't care about money that much, but she's also not like that altruistic. So
Yeah.
Here, Father, do you recognize this, or?
A few small symbols of palo are on here. Outside of that, fairly ordinary box, a standard collection bin, but it's a bit heavier than I would have thought.
And he lifts it up, and you can see that his eyes just at the sheer amount, even though it's mostly just copper and silver. You know that this is the equivalent of running about 20 days worth of services within the church. And he just kind of instinctively just,
This is far too much. There's no. This could not have all just been in the woods. Everyone would have been hunting it, trying to find it.
it wasn't in the woods. It was hidden in one of the rundown buildings.
You believe it would have been the
It was in
monks? Monks? Or
in the church.
The
Was
priests.
no,
It
the
wasn't in
priest,
the
It was
church.
the priest.
Oh, it wasn't?
It was in the first building that we came across.
Yeah,
wasn't
so it was like
yeah.
their residence. So
It was in
it
the
was
lodgings.
hidden. It was hidden very well.
It was hidden.
Yeah.
Oh, those poor souls. I don't mean to speak ill of the dead, but this amount of coinage is not something that a church would normally amass.
Oh,
I would have to believe, unfortunately, this may have been someone, well, I believe the term is skimming.
Untrustworthy souls.
You
I
added a
am
little
very
bit to him. Did
thankful
you
that
not
you brought
hope?
this
You
back.
may want to let him know, although your charity, I'm sure, was intended to be anonymous.
there was some of that, more of the silver and gold that we did find in a separate area of
Oh,
the, which I decided to add to the collection because.
do you mind if I ask how much?
So it was 11 silver and 1 gold.
All right. That's a little more understanding that the gold piece is very rare. Very few people within Vallaki ever donate anything of that value. I mean, 1 gold piece is 100 copper, so in this case, this 257 copper is almost over a third of that is that single gold piece. So,
Yes, it looked like, unfortunately, where I found that, some people had passed away a long time, and so I think it might have been on their bodies.
The programs have been closed for several decades at this point. I believe it was 30 some odd years ago. So I had imagined that everything would have been picked clean by that point. So you finding this after all these years means that very few keen eyes missed it in their previous travels there. So I do thank you for that.
It wasn't. Well, it was a dangerous trip. Can you tell us what cleared the paragrounds out? Why did everyone either leave or what were they killed by?
Well, about 35, 40 years ago, there were a lot of attacks on Vallaki by the devil, and more people outside of the walls were being killed, and so the walls construction was finally completed, and the last of the priests and anyone who wanted to value their lives over their devotion decided to retreat within the walls. But given the nature of those of the cloth, very few actually did. Most of them stayed out in the prayer grounds during the day, would perhaps come in at night and sleep within the walls if they felt it would be within their interests. But there were days when several would depart immediately at the front gate before 5. 2 would return in the evening. I would have to believe, unfortunately, that they believed their faith would keep them safe, and it apparently did not do so.
I can definitively tell you that it did not.
Just a spectral doy comes out of nowhere.
just a long fart.
Sorry.
Well, we did leave blessings
Morgas,
at some areas
Gust of
that we
Oof.
cleared of presences for the dead.
Yes, I was going to ask whether I could take some more holy water, as I used that in the
Of course,
blessings.
my child. Please, come back.
And eventually makes his way back to the far end of the church, where it leads you into his back study, and of course has the bowl of holy water that you can refill your flask with.
Elise would come and kind of just try and get in on that.
Sure. So
What you guys doing over there?
Get on some of that sweet action.
Do I have? I thought I had like an extra little, but I don't think I do. Okay, I'll just empty my water skin.
Okay.
And then try and buy another one at maybe the place in town. But
Sure.
I think that it would be a good idea for me to have holy water for arrows at this point.
So holy water is to be splashed. Holy oil is what you have to put on the arrows.
Okay, darn it.
Yeah.
Well, I'll take some holy water anyway, but
You can still fill a water skin.
Yeah.
With it. It's still water. You can still drink it. In worst case scenario.
yeah.
Right.
Father, do you know where I might
Purge
find
all the
any holy
vampires from your
oil?
tummy.
That's
Should we come up against any other revenants?
Holy oil is not an easy commodity to find. The best thing would be if you were to find a way to purchase some oil. I could bless it for you over a period
Could
of
you?
time.
That's very
It would
interesting.
take some time. It unfortunately takes usually 5 to 7 days.
Well, we thank you, Father. We hope when the trial comes that you can speak on our behalf, or at least know that we are good people. We are good beings.
I have expressed that to the Burgomaster as best I can. I will express it again at the judgment. But what you have done and what I hope you are able to find to bring back for the festival, I do hope will err in your favor. The tribunal is not to be taken lightly.
Do you know who acts and judges upon that tribunal? Like who are the people that serve on that
Tribunal.
Council?
council? Group
Yeah.
of people?
Jury.
Jury?
Well,
Words
it
and
is
things?
The Burgomaster.
Just the burgomaster.
He is the lawmaster of the town. He is the one who makes the decision, who reviews evidence, cases presented.
Okay. It's not a group of people. It's not the
Vallaki is not a city with a council or any kind of group that would make those decisions. We trust one man to do this.
okay.
Otherwise, those people would be a little more easy to corrupt, and then eventually decisions would be met that may not be for the best of the people, whereas the one man who is in control of the town makes the best decisions for the town, else everything would fall apart and he would fall out of rule.
Because absolute power never corrupts another.
Yeah. It's not easier to corrupt a single person than a group of people. Okay. Thank you, Father. We will likely see you tomorrow at the festival.
Yes, well, everyone in the town will be there. It will be
Yes.
a jolly good time.
Yes. Actually, I've just remembered. We are not currently with the doctor, but the doctor had to pick up from Blinsky's the offering that he'd commissioned for the festival. I wonder if we will have time when we reconvene at the inn or if the doctor remembers.
I think
it.
the doctor has things he's doing. It's likely picking up that commission.
That's exactly what it is. That's all
Yes.
it is.
Okay then.
Me lord.
Please, my child, I am no lord.
Oh.
Please just refer to me as either father or priest.
All right, Father Priest.
Good lord.
Is there a place in town where I'm able to pick up potions, other precarious items from our trip? We're a little bit depleted.
Potions are something that are not the most common item.
Right.
There may be a few.
Anything that could just help a fellow traveler in need.
I've heard tell of a man who sells potions out of his home.
Have you?
Fucking Carl.
Yeah.
But I unfortunately don't know much beyond that. You perhaps need to talk to some of the more, not upstanding people in the town.
Do you
I
happen to
hear
know
you, Father Priest.
what that man's name might be?
I don't remember off the top of my head. I think his last name something Straw.
Was it Strauss?
Perhaps Strauss.
Ah,
I'm not sure, but
I was like, if it's a different guy.
No, he would be the one to speak to. The Arasek stockyard, very, very basic. You would be able to find things like a healing, salves and kits there, but those really only good for very minor injuries. The kind of thing I would imagine that you're looking for, that would be a more specialized item.
Right.
Thank you again.
Thank you for calling. Is there anything else that I can do for you?
Not at the moment, but I may bring you some oil to bless as per your very kind offer.
Please, of course, if you bring it by the end of the day, I can get working on it tonight. I should be able to have it for you within a week's time.
That would be a good idea.
Yeah, I think maybe we should go over to the stockyard and try and buy some oil that I can bring to him.
All right. Well, of course, make yourselves at home. Comfort downstairs if you would like. There is going to be a small amount of food and drink presented for dinner, so please, as you will.
And he ushers you out of his study and closes the door behind, and you can begin to hear him start pulling a couple of books off and the small writing of parchment and ink and quill. So we're going to wrap things up there. Jesse.
Yep.
We're going to be back with me in a couple of minutes.
I need to use the washroom, so that's great.
Are you putting it on
Yeah.
the pause screen?
Yep.
I wasn't sure if you were gonna make.
Hey!
Hi-oh.
So, back in the town, the father has made his way back. Or sorry, god damn it, I keep doing that.
Daddy's made his way back. Daddy's home.
No, it's 'cause in my
Dr.
old
Daddy.
name
With
it
a
was-
priest.
Yeah, it was Father. Oh god.
You can't
Oh
remember his
no,
name
what the hell
anymore.
was his name? It's been so long. I'm sorry.
Doesn't
Cam.
matter though.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, we don't have
Yes.
that much time.
Father old guy.
Father old guy. But the doctor, making his way back, would make your way back to the Blue Water Inn, leaving word with Danica downstairs that you are up in your room, asking for the party to join you in your room when they returned. The rest of you, making your way back from the church after having watched the sermon.
We're going to the stockyards first.
Oh, to the stockyards. Oh, sorry. Okay. So heading to the stockyards. What would you like to find at the stockyards?
I just want to get oil and maybe an extra water skin or something maybe like that I can hold the holy water in and keep using my water skin.
Sure. So for that, it would be a second water skin. But you could, of course, get one that is a slightly different one. So for a water skin, you'd be looking at 2 silver pieces.
Sure.
And for the oil, a flask of oil would be 1 silver piece.
Okay.
I recommend this.
I think I would
With
also
okay.
try to grab some holy oil as well, because I can put them on arrows, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, I think I would
Arrows or
also.
bolts. So it would be 1 silver piece for a flask of oil.
Yeah.
It would take him about 5 to 7 days to craft 1 flask of holy oil.
Can we also ask the shop owner if he can deliver it to the church for us?
Of course.
Thanks.
Is Arasek Stockyard, if I'm remembering the city, is that near Blinsky's Toys?
No. So Blinsky's is south of the central part of the town.
And this is east.
Arasek is very far east. It's almost right at the entrance where you came in.
Cool. Yeah, I was just thinking for collecting the commission beforehand, because we don't know for sure if that's what the doctors went to do or not.
Yeah. So, yeah, with the time frame being what it was, with the sermon wrapping up just as dusk was hitting, you would have had to hustle across town to get to the stockyard before night fell and
Okay,
closed.
so that's
But you did end up making it there. We'll say just as the doors were closing, you were able to quickly make those last purchases, and they'll be delivered to the church either in the morning or whenever he gets time to do so.
I'm just if we're not gonna have if we're not giving, well, I know we're going to discuss this once we're all together at the inn, but if we decide as a group not to give you know what, then I feel like we should have the commission, but I don't know I don't think we have the time tonight.
Jordy, can I pop Rick to Hope?
You can only pop Rick to yourself.
Oh, okay. But can I send him...
You can send him.
Okay, I can send him to find Hope
Correct.
and tell them to meet me back at the inn.
Yes, you can do that.
Okay, I'm doing that.
And he would intercept probably as you were on your way to the stockyard, given how long you would have been waiting at the sermon and the conversation that you had afterwards. Would have just seen you hustling across the center of town trying to make your way, and eventually you would have just seen this little imp come flying down
On his surf.
and then in Infernal let you know
Lava
the doctor
wave.
is at the inn awaiting the group's return.
Okay. So the doctor is waiting for us at the inn, and that's where Leaf is as well.
Yes, I think we should probably go meet them and just regroup and make some decisions about what we want to
See
do.
what our next move is gonna be.
Figure out what our tomorrow looks like.
Yes.
Big day.
Okay. So picking up your items from the stockyard, making your way back to the center of town, it is definitively nightfall at this point. Last couple of fades of light have started to fall. A lot of the candles and torches are being lit in and around the town. You make your way to the center of town, head up a little bit north to the Blue Water Inn, and eventually make your way inside. Bit of a quieter evening this evening. You do see that Yevgeny and Zoldar have returned a little bit bloodied. You can see that there are a few claw marks on them. It appears in their haste to try and get some kind of a kill this evening. They may have unfortunately stumbled upon something, so there are a few extra little scrapes from what you've seen of them before. But you do see that there are 2 small rabbits hanging from one of their waists. So
Those must have been some big rabbits.
those things that we managed to navigate around in the morning. One of them, unfortunately, was able to catch our scent.
Oh.
It was not a fun one, given the day, how late it was, how much we had already used our resources securing areas. We were lucky to make it out alive. Drinks will be had this evening. Your coin will pay for some of that, so we do thank you for that.
We'll be cheersing you later tonight.
I look forward unfortunate. And then just like, and Yevgeny at this point, who normally has been like asleep on the table, you can see is kind of grimacing in a little bit of pain as he sucks down, and there's a bit of blood that's trickling out of the side of his mouth.
Dodged a bullet with that one.
As you make your way in, Danica just turns to the group. Excuse me, your friend, the doctor, he is upstairs. He has requested that you go up and see him when you have a moment.
Ah, the oldest friend.
Thank you, Danica. Is our other friend Leaf with the doctor? Do you know?
Yes, the big blue one.
Yes,
Yes,
that is our Leaf.
He's a fun
Yes.
guy.
Damn it.
Had to get in there
4 hour
somewhere.
break today.
There it is.
Yes, he is upstairs. You'll be able to find him as well. He'll be in the room.
All right, let's go see them.
Upstairs. Yeah. They're hanging out.
Hey guys.
Fun guy on the shoulder. So, making your way upstairs. Yeah. So you go to find the doctor in, because you were sharing a room with Les.
Yeah.
So you were just in the room by yourself at this point.
Yeah.
Leaf is, a little bit zonked out in his room. But everybody gathering into your room.
We all fit fine.
Yeah, should I?
There's 2 beds.
I'm like,
There's room to sit on the floor and on the beds. You're easily able to fit 6 people in.
yeah, because you're the first door
Yeah.
as well.
First door on the left. Yeah.
Yeah. So should we? So is Leaf with us, or is he?
We could bring him in, but he's pretty
Yeah.
zonked.
He's had kind of a nothing day, really. Like, overall was a little bit zonked. He's used a lot of the spells, but coming back, just very quietly trying to make his way through the forest. It was definitely not the most upbeat after everything that happened, and him, kind of looking death in the eye. So he's pretty dead to the world at the moment.
Okay.
I kind of, I go to try and as if I were going to get Leaf, and then I kind of go no,
Let him rest.
I will let my friend rest.
We'll fill him in later.
Yeah.
I will.
And you just hear a little bit of snoring coming from the other side of the.
I will talk to him over braids again.
Aw. Aw.
I will catch him up later.
Motion everybody in. Close the door behind us. So what do we think about that shield, fellas?
I think we should try and find a way not to give it up, but
It's funny you mention that. Because, if you like, I, personally, have an appointment with one Fiona Wachter tomorrow, during the festival. And she seems rather opposed to our dear friend, Mr. Burgermaster.
well, one thing that we did learn that's very interesting, but the Burgermaster will be the only one deciding our fate, as we've learned from the priest. But tell me, what were your plans for Fiona Wachter?
Well, my plan is this. It stands to reason that Fiona Wachter and her husband, very wealthy. Seems like not a lot of people in this town like the Burgomaster. Certainly they don't, judging from a communique we received from our dear friend Rick. I think we turn them against the Burgomaster.
Interesting.
Like a coup?
Like a coup. And then we walk away with the shield. Plus, that Strahd fella sounds an awful lot like another S-man we know of. Strahd. The guy who brought us here.
That guy.
He also made that toy of Irina. I think they're connected.
Strahd did. Did we already know that? Sorry.
Yeah,
I
Isaac,
forgot.
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We
I
do
think
know
he's in
about.
service to him.
I do think Isaac is very suspicious, but this seems very deceptive.
I mean, yes.
We've been nothing but deceptive since we got here. We've been hiding shields and hiding things from everybody.
Well,
The other thing, too, is if we want to keep that shield, because the Burgomaster will want it. He's been confiscating all the weapons and fancies in town. We give it up to him, we never see it again. What if we need it to defeat the devil?
I think that's a very good point. I also think, I don't share your qualms about Deception Hope, but I would say we've not seen anything to indicate that the Burgomaster is a good leader for this town. In fact, all we've seen is suspicion.
People do not like him.
And not only that, but there's something very strange about the constant festivals, the yes man,
Mm-hmm.
the lack of transparency that we've seen in the local government here. I don't know. I mean, I think that perhaps finding other powerful allies in the town is a good idea.
Exactly my thinking.
And ultimately, this man isn't aligned to go up directly against Strahd, but we are. We're here to protect Irina and to find all of our ways back home. And
Damn
to do
right
that,
we are.
we'll have to come head to head with Strahd at some point. We need every resource we have.
And what better resource than wealth behind us?
Or a shield directly from a god of light.
Also that, but
But also
potentially
wealth.
a very wealthy benefactor to keep us moving. We've only made 300 gold from little Irina and Ismark.
I mean, only... That's a pretty decent amount of gold, really.
This
but
cloak costs 20.
we gotta keep the doctor in fancy cloaks.
Fancy hats.
I mean, you both raise very interesting points, and you know of my affection towards Irina and my desire for her safety. But this makes me uncomfortable.
The only friend we have in this town, Hope, besides each other, is the priest.
Exactly, and that's because he appreciates our honesty and how we have tried to help.
But you haven't been honest with him, have you? You've been hiding all kinds of facts from him as well.
Including that shield,
The only
which we
person
intend
we've
to
been
keep.
100% honest with is each other and nobody else.
I mean, to be very fair, that was more our decision than Hope's, and they went along with it because we asked them, or told them that we thought it was the correct thing.
But still, all we can count on is each other.
I agree with that.
Even if the Burgomaster decides to judge in our favor, it might just be we get kicked out and lose the shield.
Or say that the Burgomaster goes up against us. Even regardless, the shield is no guarantee that he's going to weigh in our favor. And even if he does weigh against us, the priest won't be able to do anything to stop it.
I think our best option is we help stage a coup. It's for the good of the town.
Would the church not offer us protection?
Well, I mean, certainly they would. We returned the
Sanctuary?
bones. We could
If the
definitely...
Burgomaster...
It's magical sanctuary, but I'm sure it's not sanctuary against the Burgomaster's guards dragging us out and stringing us up.
Strahd and his
Yeah.
boys will be in to kick us out like no one's tomorrow.
We want to save everyone
How-
here, but
I
they're
wish...
How, do we get the... Oh, we should have fucking talked to those guards.
They didn't know anything, though.
No, but we can ask them. We could have asked them how...
Do you think the Burgomaster's a good guy?
No,
Yeah, we do.
how this, their, the feeling and the sense in their guard, like, how do they feel about their job and how are they run and that kind of thing, to get a sense of the loyalties of the soldiers.
Well, we did see a little bit of it when we went to the Burgomasters to meet with Ismark. I
The
think
soldiers weren't fed well.
they were not fed well. They didn't seem
Yes,
particularly happy.
True.
I kind of wish that another lawful character was with us.
I'm supposed to be.
Leaf,
but
what do
I'm
you
not.
think?
Lawful
Oh wait,
neutral?
Leaf's not here. Never mind.
Yeah,
Leaf is
Leaf
sleeping.
is... We left... I
He's
left
having
Le-
sweet dreams of
Leaf has
mushrooms.
left.
I make good decisions
Well-
based on what I think is a good decision.
Why don't we see
Leaf
how this
is
meeting...
asleep.
Is Leaf?
He's asleep.
He's a sleeping.
Why don't we see how this meeting goes? We don't necessarily have to go in and say, we're going to stage a goddamn coup, but perhaps we could see what the feeling behind Fiona Wachter is.
I think-
I heard Q. We're gonna stage a queue.
We're gonna stage a queue.
We're gonna line up.
Standing in a line.
Yeah.
together.
And give them
Everyone,
our word.
single file.
Sorry.
This is what I think of you, Mr. Burgomaster.
Yeah, I'm going to stand here politely until you acknowledge me.
Now let my friend Leaf take it over from me.
Sorry, Fiona, you were about to say.
Oh, yeah, I was just gonna say, we don't need to say yes. However, it may be our best option of getting out of here with everything we want.
It's definitely the one that covers the most angles.
Can I speak with the DM in private?
Of course.
In the meantime, hey guys, Battle Angel Alita coming out this weekend.
Yeah.
Check it out, looks kind of cool.
Where
I've
can
heard
they
mixed.
check it out?
I assume movie theaters.
Or pirated on your computer.
I saw that. That's like a
It's
remake
the Robert
of like
Rob- yeah, it's the anime
old
thing.
school
the Robert
anime.
Robbie guy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I've
seen
heard, like,
trailers for that.
Good and bad things.
I just think it'll be
Good
fun.
things.
It
Yeah.
looks dumb, and I'm into that right
Yeah.
now.
From an anime perspective, if you've read like the manga
No.
or anything, it's like
No.
well, just anime in general. Like it's one of the first the closest they've gotten to like a very complete manga
Okay.
like, translation.
Dope.
Like there's a lot of
Okay.
things that happen. Like this is one like a few couple reviews I've read, but this one guy was like, I liked it, but I read and love anime. If you had never read those things, there's just things that happen in the movie. You're like, why are they doing this?
Manga has its own
Yeah.
style.
So
and
in that, I think it'd be really cool to watch.
So,
But,
I would go see that.
oh.
Oh
Uh-oh.
no.
Uh-oh.
tough to read.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
Okay. So, continuing on.
I think tomorrow we go up there, we present this fancy little sunburst. I'll present the toy at this point.
And you make a quick dexterity check for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, that is a 13.
13? Okay. So you manage to pull it out and you kind of instinctively grab it by like the edges of it and just kind of hold it out very carefully. And you especially having dealt with daggers and you daggers as well, these are basically dagger points on the end of this thing. Like, if this were to fall on somebody, it's sticking.
Oh man.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's cool.
It
but
is cool.
Is it worshipful?
I mean, it's a sign of Palor.
Oh.
It is a festival of sun bullshit.
Palor is a spiky god.
He is a pointy man.
We can also tell the Burgomaster about our contribution to the church and how we brought back a long lost collection box.
Here's my thinking. Ultimately, we're going to be forced to make a choice at the festival. Either we give up the shield then and there as a sign of good faith to the town that we are here and we are so repentant for burning down Vampire Man's house. Not that we did.
Not that we did.
Certainly not. That we were around when it spontaneously caught fire.
I
Or,
heard that vampire spawn are very flammable.
I mean, clearly.
Like paper.
See, you understand. Or we leave our little pointy sunburst friend, keep the shield to ourselves, and we go meet with our new friend about a potential COPP.
Cop.
COUP.
We're gonna go see about a cop?
No, we're gonna go overthrow the cops.
Oh, a cop. Oh, I know what a cop is.
Potential
You rolled a nat one on the intelligence check.
I don't think the Burgomaster's a good guy.
I agree with you. Everything about this situation smells funny to me.
Burgomaster doesn't seem like a good guy, so I think perhaps we make this city better and our lives better.
Ooh, good. Allura, I'm interested in your opinion because you've spent more time around the gentry than most of us here. What's your read on the Burgomaster and his position within the city?
I have just as much knowledge as you guys do. I haven't met him yet.
But you spent more time in the house with him.
I was just at the house. I never interacted with him. I was let in, fed, given lodgings with Irina in the same room. And
Make Hope jealous.
just kidding. I told her.
Shame.
Like all we had was the space. It gives me weird.
How's that tea?
It's got funny
Scalding.
feelings. I agree. When we were in the house, there was always the piano going, which I feel is an enchantment to mask conversation, and Ismark as well as Irina were not themselves.
There was something very strange about the way that Ismark was compulsively eating when he was in the Burgomaster's house. I know he had been not.
We
social
noticed that as
luxury.
well when
yeah.
we were in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I was there for that one.
No.
No.
You were
No.
outside.
It was me and Laura.
Oh
Yeah.
sorry.
All the
That's okay.
freaks
That's
had to
okay. I
stay
mean, we would have
outside.
probably told you about that.
Yes.
But like, I Ismark and Irina were both acting almost opposite, not opposite, but like off adjacent of what we came to know as them.
Are you suggesting they might have been under an enchantment of some sort?
I just think that they're potentially being influenced in a way.
And do you think that music has an effect? Because if that were the case, how do we know that you weren't influenced by it?
Oh.
I didn't feel any change in choices or feelings. I don't think the doctor did either.
Nope.
We didn't act differently.
You were there overnight, though.
That's true.
Right.
It's
I mean,
Strahd.
I hope
Allura
I
is Strahd,
haven't been
confirmed.
acting differently. Have you perceived me being acting any different than you know me to behave?
I don't think so, but
No, but you were rather quiet during the doctor's talking, and I do not think of you as a
Just-
quiet person.
I'm fairly quiet.
Not when you're trying to be.
Allura's a scroll confirmed.
How about this?
Captain
I'm
Marvel
listening
coming
and,
out soon.
and digesting the
If we-
potential options of that we have at the moment.
Could there be a way that we could, if your suspicions are correct, and the Burgomaster is influencing the people, would that satisfy your curiosity? If you somehow, within us, found proof that the Burgomaster was manipulating people, that would then give you enough fuel for the Doctor's plan to put into action.
If it was for the good of people, then
Hope, if I might offer this. Isaac Strasny, known best friend, confidant of the Burger Man, commissioned a doll of Irina that looked enough like her that we could all tell, and it freaked her out a bunch, right? How would she know who Irina is? He know who Irina is. Look, I got here early.
That is a good point.
I think the ultimate thing is that old Strasny has something to do with our boy Strahd. And I think there's one way to find out.
I'm with you as well. The Triton people have been saving the races of the surface for centuries. And I want to pick the best option that's going to save the people in this strange realm in this town. And the main goal is to take out Strahd to do that by any means necessary.
I agree.
Sure.
And in war, there are going to be casualties, but for the greater good.
I mean, if you're looking at it that way, yes, perhaps. Let's talk about moral relativism. I mean, perhaps we'll set into motion some events in this town, but this town is not the only set of people who are being affected by Strahd.
That's right.
There are many towns. Look at Barovia. We came from there, and it was a ghost town. People were walking around without souls.
There was a death house.
There was a literal death house.
A house of death for us.
I mean, it's all connected to Strahd's influence over this land. He is an evil miasma.
And if we gotta pop a few burgomasters to get to Strahd, I don't see an issue.
No, but I mean, we don't want Hope to be uncomfortable with their choices or with the choices that the group of people they've aligned themselves with to make.
I agree.
But
It also
I think
seems in
it's
Irina's best
bears
interest.
discussion. And I mean, at the same time,
That's tugging on your heartstrings.
why don't we
On
go
all
to
your
this
heartstrings.
meeting tomorrow and see what happens? See what information Fiona Wachter has for us.
I will
What
say,
do we know about her?
here's what I got from her. She wrote me a message through my good friend Rick and said, "Fuck the burgomaster. Come meet at me tomorrow."
How did you come to be in communication with her, Doctor?
I had Rick drop a letter.
Huh. What did you say in your letter, if you don't mind me asking?
I simply asked if, I said I identified myself as a doctor from out of town, and that I was with a group of people who were interested in discussing the current political situation of Barovia. Not Barovia, you know this one. Dumb
Yeah.
Barovia. Bigger Vallaki, you know.
Vallaki.
Dumb Barovia.
Dumb Barovia.
I mentioned that her
Barovia.
good friend Lucian sends his regards, and that I would love to meet with her to discuss solutions to any problems that the town may have.
What's to make her think that she'll come on her end of the deal? What if you put her in power and she just is another mad, hungry person and screws us
How do
all?
we know she's not worse than the Burgomaster?
Well, she hasn't asked for the shield, has she?
She doesn't know it
She
exists.
doesn't know about the shield.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean anything.
Nobody
No one's
knows
asked for the
about
shield.
shield.
No, but we have an option. We either leave something fancy on the offering table tomorrow, and then we get judged the next day, probably even just exiled,
Or we
realistically.
explore our options.
Or we explore our options. We keep the shield to ourselves and talk to our new potential friend.
Well, I mean, no one says that if this other option doesn't seem viable, once we've explored it, that we can't still turn around and say, yes, we found this, and here we'll give it to you. That can still be a last resort.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think we should talk with her.
Yes, I agree. And then we go from there. We don't have to make any big decisions right now. I just
Right.
think we say yes to
Keep all
this
up.
meeting.
Alright.
Okay.
I feel that's the wise choice.
Okay.
It'll also help save Irina. No big deal.
The doctor's good at, like, choosing the right tack.
Yeah, I know. I could tell exactly, and I feel like when you were like tugging on all of the heartstrings, I was wearing the perfect T-shirt. All of these
Literal
key pairing
heart
hearts.
strings.
I was gonna say, it takes a con man to beat a con man. I think the obvious thing is that Strahd is connected to Strahd.
I agree.
And I think the best way we get information out of Strahd is we tie him to a chair and punch him.
And
Actually,
take his
do you-
topic.
There's many
did-
more creative ways than
I mean, yes.
With Rick being in communication, did he perhaps find out if Lady Wakta,
Walked her.
whether she was one of those people who had been in those discussions over getting rid of the Burgomaster during the festival?
I mean, she did say, fuck the Burgomaster.
Is those the actual words?
Those are the exact words. So,
Can I be like, Rick?
Rick.
Rick, buddy.
Rick, we gotta talk now.
And he just appears on your shoulder and reiterates. The rest of you just hear a sound as he's talking, and you hear in his voice the yeah, she literally just said, "Fuck the Burgomaster, fuck this guy, fuck him hard, fuck him all."
That's my boy! And I'm high-five and boop him away.
Just kind of punches you in the head.
Yeah! That's my guy.
Party Rick.
Apparently, that is what she said. I think we're
I'm
getting
stuck
into...
with you guys, so there's no reason to lie to you.
Well, like we said, it is an option. We'll keep it open. We'll meet with her. And then we'll
And we'll see.
explore
Is it
what
from
other
there?
things we got.
Is the meeting with all of us or just yourself, Doctor?
I have said that I represent a group of adventurers.
Perhaps
So-
we can all go, but we can leave talking to you.
Certainly, I'm sure, putting forward that we have a group of adventurers, she may well expect a group. I simply specified myself and my name.
Did she seem to have any adverse reactions to non-human?
I could not tell you.
Did Rick perhaps notice that?
Not that I'm aware of. There were notes.
Let's make the assumption that she, as a very well-connected member of this town, has heard of us, heard descriptions of us as we're quite unusual.
I
And
think that we
That's
are.
very likely.
should she have had any qualms, I doubt she would have invited us to meet with her. In fact, I mean, who knows, she may be actually intrigued or interested to see us, as we're quite different from anybody else in this town.
This is my thinking as well.
That's why I'm thinking we go all as a party. And besides,
It's up to you. I'm happy to go by myself or to bring a couple people or to bring the whole group.
I mean, I am a very good diplomat.
So
I
I've heard.
really am. Be a very...
You're
be a tried and
Is
true
that so?
treasure to help in these negotiations.
Old friend, you're not saying
I think
anything dirty.
I'm going to go rest on all of this
Very well.
conversation.
Know full well that I am going.
I
Because I
understand
feel it
that,
is an
Doctor.
important choice for us.
This
Or
has
an
been a
important for
lot
us
of
to find out.
this has been a lot of information. I think I need to go rest upon this, and I will catch Leaf up with it.
Very well.
Once he is rested as well. He too has slept in his
He
bed,
has slept.
You two guys.
and not my bed.
So, beginning to turn in for the evening, begin to hear, a little bit more rambunctious downstairs. A few people who seem to be coming in breaking in preparation for the festival starting tomorrow. You hear that the festival will be starting at the noonday sun. That will be the announcement and the official beginning of the festival, lasting through until the sunlight expires for the evening, upon which the festival will continue into the night, but essentially creating just the town square as a lit beacon where people can continue drinking, food will be available, things like that. It will last through until midnight. It will be a 12-hour festival. So those are your options for tomorrow, but for the evening, everybody returns to their rooms. Les, did you want to stay in
Unless is anyone going downstairs?
So it'll be another 2 gold pieces for you if you want to stay in that room.
In the bath.
Or sorry, 5 gold pieces if you want to stay.
Oh, right. No, it's okay.
So you do have your standard room up with the doctor.
That's right.
Alright.
Old buddy, old pal.
So
Overthrow
returning
the
to your
government.
beds for the evening, unless there's anything else anybody else would like to do.
I would like to pull out my straight razor and shave my head.
Okay. Should make a sleight of hand check. You don't have a mirror.
I would have.
I know it's something you're used to. The DC is low. It's more
Yeah,
so just
okay.
with everything that's happened, your mind is not fully focused on it. It's the absent
Sleight of hand?
sleight of hand.
21.
So
Jordy.
you just kind of instinctively just rip up the straight razor, just like closing your eyes and just thinking about everything. You just, without even thinking, are just dragging it across your head, and you can just feel the flakes coming off.
This is also a Hope thing, so Hope, if you don't mind, before you leave, can I take a look at the shield and try and glean any concept of like what it does from it?
It's in the bag of holding, so whoever has the bag.
Oh, okay.
The dog has the bag.
Oh yeah, so I'm just gonna examine the shield.
Okay, so yeah, you can pull out the shield. You can take a look at it. So you see.
Well, it really is big.
It's a big shield.
It's a very large shield. It's give or take about almost 5 feet high,
Mm-hmm.
and got a 2 sideways holding piece,
Mhm.
like cap shield, where one is like an arm brace that holds in, and then you've got the large padded piece on this side. It is designed for weapons to be able to be brought at high and low directions, and then as well for it to kind of notch in against an arm, and you can see that it almost will be able to link in with additional seals.
Yeah.
Think palisade style.
Can I get any idea of the magical effect of it?
Make an arcana check. Yeah, we're getting to the point once you hit level 5 where this is more difficult. You need to have a way to identify things.
Yeah.
but yeah. I'll get you to make an arcana check.
Okay. Oh yeah, that's not great. That's a 7.
7. Defensive in nature,
Okay.
but that's about all that you can really glean from.
Okay. And if I have time, I'd also like to take a bit more time to examine the dust.
Sure. Make another arcana check on that one.
That's not much better.
No.
That's an 8.
It's an 8. Same as what you did before. You pull out a very small amount of it. You put it on one of your fingers, and you just notice as that tip of your finger just vanishes.
Okay. Cool.
And then as you wipe it off, it just reappears as if it was almost blending into the environment behind it.
Okay. Cool. I did what I wanted to do.
Yeah, with this being a long rest, I assume. I don't know if this is boring for you guys watching, but can I get my hit die back
So
to
yeah,
full?
well, we'll talk about that all
Okay.
after. I was more referring to like anything in game that we wanted to talk about. So
Actually, yeah.
Yeah.
I've went back into my room, and I have wrote a note, and I have slipped it in under Allura and a leaf store.
So one note to each of them,
Just
or is
one note.
one note to them?
Not to them, both. Just to one.
Just a one.
But I want to leave it as a mystery.
That's fine.
Woo,
I'll let you
cliffhanger.
write that, send it off to
I
whoever
shall.
ends up receiving it.
Can I examine the shield as well? Is it something that maybe, like, because
It's a very fine. You see a beautifully made Legionnaire shield. This is something that you like, having seen it before and having held the weight of it. It is a heavy piece. It is designed to be stood on the ground as someone stands behind it. It's not something that you wield actively in battle per se. This is a substantial defensive shield.
Okay. Cool.
So, with that, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up the session for this week. Everybody retiring to their rooms for a long rest. We'll be picking up next week in the morning before the start of the Festival of the Blazing Sun.
Not next week, because next week's our schedule.
Sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
2
Oh
weeks.
yeah.
2 weeks.
Have a happy Valentine's Day,
Yeah,
everyone
happy Valentine's Day,
watching.
everybody. Oh my
Either
God.
Valentine's
heart
Day.
yourself, heart your fam, heart your
Hashtag
partner,
be
whatever you like.
my-
Partner whatever you like to heart.
Yeah. Because love
Heart
is valid in all
your
forms.
D&D
Yeah.
team.
Partner D&D group.
Find your Irina.
Congratulations for making it through 13 sessions.
Wow. We've been waiting for a long
And
time,
a
you guys.
one-shot.
That's
Yeah.
right. Yeah.
2
In
one-shots.
character.
2 1-shots.
Well, in character.
Oh, one. Right.
Yeah. But yeah, it's been amazing. It's
3
hard to believe
one-shots.
that we're 13. It's the equivalent of 13 weeks in.
Jesus.
We are a quarter of a year.
Holy moly.
Our D&D.
Oh my god.
When are we going to level up, Jordy?
When you deserve it.
Oh.
Oh shit!
Elise, like, gets her bow and goes back to that. Goes back to the
I'm
prayer
sure you
grounds.
don't go hunting at night.
Yeah.
Time to
I gotta start
go.
training.
Yeah.
For 2 weeks, I'm gonna hunt in the
I'm
forest.
gonna go Goku up.
Stepping over through the doorway would have been okay. You're now a level 5.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Fuck.
Come back in 2 weeks. That was a long sleep.
Thank you, everybody. We'll see you in 2 weeks. Looking forward to coming back and having some interesting downtime.
There might be a coup.
There might be.
Cuckoo,
Yeah.
Interesting downtime in jail.
Yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys in 2 weeks.
Bye.